0% runaround, where support is still personal. RevFiber. Visit revfiber.com.
When a capital project moves from planning to execution, downtime isn't an option. Who do you trust to deliver? River Parish Contractors has more than 500 employees, dedicated safety, quality, and project management teams, and 9 full-time estimators backed by a 36,000 square foot automated pipe and structural steel fabrication facility. We can deliver multi-million-dollar industrial construction projects on time and safely, locally owned and headquartered in South Louisiana. We're River Parish Contractors, and we're built for bigger challenges.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. ACC athletic directors met today, and there's momentum for the conference to join the Big Ten and SEC in banning NFL players from joining rosters at their schools, reports ESPN's Pete Thamel. Still a few more steps before that happens, including ACC board approval. Positive news for the Buccaneers regarding rookie pass rusher Reuben Bain Jr. He's dealing with an AC sprain, but Coach Todd Bowles says he'll be available for the season opener at the Bengals. There's a lot to like about the 15th overall pick in this year's NFL draft, says former Bucs All-Pro linebacker and Super Bowl 55 champion Levante David.
Animal, what I see as the animal. He's going to play, 100% every down, going to give his hardest. Gonna be physical, gonna be nasty, and he's a football guy. That's what I always say. You know who football guys are, and he's definitely a football guy.
Levante David on Unsportsmanlike. Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. making his way back from a torn ACL will not play in Friday's preseason finale. Tua Tagovailoa will start against the Dolphins. Penix Jr. just returned to full practices on Monday. No decision by Atlanta for QB1 for Week 1.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, we wrap up our two-a-days with the Patriots. Was last year's Super Bowl appearance a sign of things to come for them, or just a one-year wonder? It's on Sportsman, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We're here at Marucci Hitter's House on Seagan. Fired up to be here for a jam-packed show. As we were going off the air a day ago, the SEC dropped the hammer, and there has been nothing but a ton of reaction since. We do have Terrell next hour. Russ Mitchell returns in hour 3 to actually talk football, and that will be so nice to talk football and not legalities and all the nonsense therein. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
As we were going off air on Tuesday night, the SEC released their statement, so we had little time other than just to read the statement. So let's react to it, and then ultimately what has transpired really in the 21 hours since. By now you probably know the SEC brass meeting in Birmingham. It was a previously scheduled 2-day meeting where they were supposed to be discussing self-governance. And remember, that was a big topic at SEC Media Days. Kirby, Georgia kind of beat the drum about it. Could the SEC operate independent of the NCAA? That was the whole self-governance conversation. That's what these meetings were supposed to be about. And then NFL players start coming back into college, and it created this big fiasco, and that's all these meetings have been about now. So the SEC released a statement, and there's basically 3 criteria. SEC institutions are not permitted to have athletes on the roster who have done any of these 3 things. Number 1, previously declared for the NFL, NBA, or WNBA draft and did not appropriately withdraw. That's 1. 2, signed a contract with an NFL or any professional football league, NBA or G League, or WNBA or affiliate team. Or 3, been listed on an NFL or other professional football league, NBA or G League, or WNBA or affiliate roster. So basically, if you so much as put on a replica jersey of an NFL team, you ain't playing. They try to cover all of their bases therein. They note that the commissioner is authorized to enforce this expectation with penalties against member institutions. So on Monday night, they wag their finger like, we don't like this. On Tuesday night, it's, here's the things you can't do, and if you do them, you're going to get punished. Now, CBS earlier today released what some of those penalties would be: potential suspension for 50% of the season for a coach, hefty fines for the university, loss of voting privileges on league business. Now, I haven't seen the SEC release that, but it was Matt Zenitz, and certainly he's credible, so there's that component of it. I think there's two truths that have come of all of this over the past couple of weeks as I see it. Number one is that the NCAA could have very easily avoided all of this hullabaloo if they had granted the blanket waiver for the 2022 kids. We've talked about this plenty. I don't think I need to rehash the entirety of it. By now, if you listen to the show, you should be caught up to speed, which is to say this is a very small subsect. It is not a perpetual thing. The NCAA changed eligibility rules. It negatively affected a very small group of 2022 kids who regained eligibility but were already gone off to their pro leagues and were told you can't come back because you went pro. I've compared it to, like, tell me if you like this analogy. Let's say you go to a concert and the show ends and they're escorting, the usher's like, gotta go, and they escort you out. But once you leave, you can't come back in the arena. Well, because you're sitting on the floor, like you had really good seats, they usher you out first. Well, then the band's like, psych, we're actually going to play a little while longer. And you're like, oh, dude, I want to go back in. And they're like, sorry, you already left. Yeah, but you told me to leave. And now the band's back. Sorry, that's the rules. You can't come back. Like, that's kind of the situation that these players are in. I don't know. I kind of like that analogy. I feel like a good analogy. You like that? Pretty good? Okay, good. But like the dudes up into 300 levels, the ones that had the red shirt, you're in the cheap seats. You couldn't get out as quick because you got to go down to ground level. You can't get out as quick, so you're still in the arena. You get to stay. I mean, how's that? Anyway, that's one. I think the NCAA could have avoided the hullabaloo. They wanted chaos to push Congress to act on the Protect College Sports Act, because the NCAA cannot govern any longer. It's very obvious. They have pushed for 6 years for congressional intervention. Maybe this is what gets them there. And then number two, I think is very clear that as these lawsuits were happening to sue the NCAA, it's been the conferences to step up and say, and throw the hammer down and say, you can't play these ineligible players. If you do, we'll punish you. And that appears to be the proverbial line drawn in the sand by which schools are going to abide. And if that's the case, then that only gives more credence to the idea of self-governance. So there's a couple of other things. So on the field, what does this mean for LSU and for Lane Kiffin? Well, I did have a conversation earlier today with representatives for Junior Tua Halamaka, the edge from Notre Dame. Remember, he did not sign a pro contract, so their belief is he is eligible. So Junior Tua Halamaka, who's committed to Notre Dame, apparently is eligible as they perceive it under these new rules. That's from his management, his representatives. The two transfers from Ole Miss, obviously tight end Daquan Wright and defensive lineman Xavier Harris, they certainly fall under the purview of these new restrictions from the SEC, so they would be ineligible. When you look at LSU, I think that tells you very clearly they felt like they had a need for a prototypical tight end and another competent veteran body at defensive tackle. So you're no worse off than you were before these guys committed. You're in the exact same spot you were. But had you added Daquan Wright, who obviously played 4 years of major college football and had 40 catches and over 600 yards receiving in this offense a year ago, he would have given you a dimension you don't currently have in your offense with a prototypical tight end. And then we've talked a ton about defensive tackle, where you've got 5 guys you're going to rotate, but 2 of them are true freshmen and the other 3 veterans don't have any skins on the wall. So if you would have added a guy that's played in 52 career games in the Southeastern Conference, that gives you a very formidable addition to the interior of your defense. That would have made you better. So you're no worse off, but you're certainly not better, which you would have been with these players. There's also the basketball component of this. R.J. Lewis, who just Monday was granted his eligibility in a Baton Rouge courtroom, Tuesday had it taken away by the SEC. So Will Wade's roster certainly took a hit with the R.J. Lewis situation. there is sort of this conversation of what's going to be next. And as soon as the SEC released their statement, I tweeted, I tweeted, these players were willing to sue the NCAA. Will they also be willing to sue the SEC? Because I think that's one misunderstanding I think that a lot of people have right now. LSU is not suing the NCAA or the SEC. The players are the plaintiffs. The 33 players, 16 football players that received the TRO in a Baton Rouge courtroom last week, the players are the plaintiffs suing the NCAA. So if they were willing to sue the NCAA to gain their eligibility, would they also be willing to sue the SEC to gain their eligibility? And I look at it from the standpoint of these guys have a ton to gain and relatively little to lose by going to court. Like if you're Daquan Wright, you don't have a path back to the NFL. I mean, the Browns waived you because you entered the portal while you were on their roster. They're like, forget it, you're gone. The NFL does not need Daquan Wright. Daquan Wright stands to make a lot of money playing another year of college football. So why wouldn't you go to court to fight for your eligibility? So Ross Dellinger tweeted that last evening, shortly after this, Ryan Doughton, one of the attorneys representing the players in the Louisiana case, tells Yahoo Sports the NCAA should be, quote, held in contempt of court for permitting conferences under its purview to blatantly violate court orders, and he plans to file such a motion, separately noting that attorneys are considering the appropriate legal response to hold the Big Ten and SEC accountable for their cartel-like coordination with the NCAA, noting it is clear the attorneys are poised to file legal challenges against the two conferences. So there's the answer to the question. Yes, the attorneys for these players do plan on filing suit against the conferences. So there's a hearing on a preliminary injunctive hearing on Monday in Baton Rouge for these players. If they remember, they already had the TRO that expires after 10 days. The next step is the preliminary injunction. That hearing is scheduled for Monday. If they get it, by law, those players are eligible. But what overrides what? I would assume the law of the United States of America would override rules of the Southeastern Conference, but that's something that may have to be determined in a court of law. And how far are you willing to go? One of the bits of feedback that I've certainly heard the most from you today is, like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, are you really willing to get 10 days before your opener to continue going down this path for a rotational defensive lineman and a tight end, like, in taking your eye off the ball with Clemson staring you straight in the face here in a week and a half? And if that's your feeling, okay, like, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, we're instead of talking about how Blake Baker's defense is going to handle Christopher Vizina or what types of challenges, Chad Morris's new offense there at Clemson, or what types of challenges sort of new players on that Clemson defense could pose for Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss's offense, we're talking about Xavier Harris and eligibility. It's weird. I mean, it's a weird thing that we've all taken our eye off the ball with the opener, a much anticipated opener, so close from us now. But here we are. And I don't think LSU is going to stop, because Lane Kiffin said it yesterday on McAfee, and everything that I've been told with conversations I've had, to say it as plainly as I can, LSU is going to follow the court order. If the court determines these players are eligible, LSU is going to play them. If the court on Monday says they're ineligible, they do not receive their preliminary injunction, then LSU's not going to play them. And so whether you agree or disagree with that, it feels like that's the path they're going to follow. And if you believe the attorneys for these players, who Ross Dellinger quoted last night, they are going to file legal action against the conferences to get these players eligible. And it's also worth noting, this is not just an LSU thing. Of the 16 players that filed for that TRO last week, there's Daquan Wright and Xavier Harris, obviously, but TJ Harden was the running back at SMU, is thought to be a Missouri lean. Ethan Johnson from App State, he's committed to South Carolina. Luke Drzewiecki, whatever, he's a place kicker from New Mexico. He's committed to Minnesota. Trent Hendrick from James Madison is now committed to UCLA. Braelin Green, we told you about this yesterday, defensive back from Liberty, who's committed to Arkansas. DQ Smith is going back to South Carolina. We told you about Cole Hudson, the offensive lineman, who was in camp with the Browns Cowboys. He's back at Texas. So this is hardly just an LSU thing. This affects a lot of programs and a lot of different sports, and we'll see how the action may move forward from here. Okay, a ton to talk about. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We are at Marucci Hitter's house and glad to have you hanging out. Come see us here over at Marucci. Remember, they have tours where you could tour the entire campus here, which is awesome. And they do give group discounts. So bring your, in schools, bring your class, bring your teams. You got to come see Marucci Hitter's house over here. The whole campus tour is awesome here at Marucci. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. We'll knock out a break and continue. Cat Terrell's here in about an hour and 15 minutes from right now. We'll go around the SEC in about 15 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking of selling your home, call Darren James. Get your home sold. Fired up. A good friend of mine. I've told you this story, and I just love validating stories. Third-party validation is so powerful. A good friend of mine, they're selling their home, had hired a realtor. They were having an issue with a listing price, just comps and different stuff like that. I put him in touch with Darren James. Darren spent 2 hours on the phone with this family, knowing full well that they already had a realtor and was not getting the business. He did it just because it's the right thing to do. Long story short, they end up switching. They hire Darren, and Darren said, hey, look, since you already had this other realtor on the listing, let's co-list. So this person is compensated for the legwork they've done up until this point. It's not about the money. It's about getting the result and making your clients thrilled. That's just the experience you'll have with Darren James. If you need to sell your home, you need the best, you need Darren James. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. You need to sell your home, you need Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunities to get folks out who might not otherwise have the financial means to come sailing. Auctions in August is an online fundraiser that helps nonprofits like us service the community. Bidding through Auctions in August is a lot of fun because there's so many different items. There's something for everyone, so you're sure to find something that relates directly to you that you'll enjoy bidding on, and you get to help out the community.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year round.
We trust the lake.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I think all the major conferences are showing unity in this. And the fact that the Big Ten and the SEC were unanimous on this is really important, because you have conference leaders whose own head coaches are trying to do this say, you can't.
That's Heather Dinich on ESPN. I think there's one important note that I'll say out loud that you all know is common sense. You know this to be true, but I'm going to say it out loud. This clearly is not unanimous. Now, the official vote was held, and people are putting it out there that it was 15-0 that LSU abstained. Clearly, this is not unanimous. Let me give you an example of something comparable that does not necessarily specifically involve LSU, so it'll make sense. I'll never forget when we were at SEC Football Media Days when the news broke that Texas and Oklahoma were going to be coming into the Southeastern Conference. And Texas A&M leadership recoiled because they, in the summer of 2010, made the decision to split from Texas, to go their own path, to get out of that shadow, to come into the SEC with Missouri. And then a handful of years later, I guess a decade later, here comes Texas. And Texas A&M was not pleased about it. And they made their feelings known. And then behind closed doors, they got their hands slapped. And when the vote came, whether or not to admit Texas and Oklahoma, it was a unanimous vote. Because the SEC's policy has long been, say whatever you want behind closed doors. Air your grievances, let your feelings be known. But when we open the doors and we're public facing, we are going to be unanimous. Like, we are going to be unified. That has always been the league's policy. It's why back in 2016, when you had the LSU Florida fiasco with Hurricane Matthew, that was such an ugly thing for the league. And that was when Sankey had just become commissioner. And it actually took Herb Vincent, who was like very, very heady, who was the one that threatened the imposition of punishments of not being able to play in a conference championship game for if they didn't play the requisite number of games and so on. Anyway, so they got LSU and Florida to fall in line. But the point is that publicly, there's always going to be a unified front from the SEC. But I just ran through this, y'all. I mean, we know LSU is pursuing these players. South Carolina has accepted a commitment from Ethan Johnson from App State. Arkansas accepted a commitment from Braelin Green from Liberty. There's Kentucky basketball took a commitment from Mark Mitchell, who had been at Missouri, left, came back under this waiver process. Cole Hudson from Texas was in camp with the Browns and the Cowboys, now is back with a waiver. I mean, the point is, y'all, like, it ain't just LSU. I mean, by the way, Pete Golding said this when he was asked about recruiting players out of the portal.
From an injury component, there are things that you've had some banged up spots to where obviously if this is what we're going to do and this is what everybody's doing, you know, within the framework of college football, then there's certain spots that obviously we would have interest in too.
I mean, Pete Golding saying he's open to it. We know Lane Kiffin is open to it. You know, a day ago, we played for you the Ryan Day cut. Play that if you would, Muse. This was not in the SEC, but this is what Ryan Day said.
If there are teams that have some players out there who are cut from NFL rosters that are going to be on other teams, we have to at least consider it and look at it. Do I like anything about it? Absolutely not. But we got to do what's right for Ohio State. So it's sort of a day-to-day thing right now. And like anything, we're just going to try to adapt. But I think we would all agree, maybe not everybody, but that, you know, there has to be a certain point where your roster gets locked in.
Well, Ryan Day saying they would consider it. Today, Joey McGuire at Texas Tech, obviously in the Big 12. This was actually Tuesday evening, his media availability Tuesday evening. This is what Joey McGuire said.
You know, I was checking with our guys today and like, what's the Big 12 going to do? You know, and so, again, it's going to be interesting. I mean, we're going to monitor. We've been monitoring the last week or so to how we can add, if possible, somebody to make this team better. I understand both sides. We are not looking at anybody that is in the NFL that possibly could be cut. We haven't called any NFL coaches. We haven't scouted any NFL players that I think some teams have done, but we're definitely going to look.
I mean, they're going to look, and we're not calling right now, but if they get cut, we're going to call. I mean, it's just to illustrate the way that this has been painted nationally is that Lane Kiffin is rogue, doing this thing no one else is doing. It's LSU. And yes, it is that. Like, Lane Kiffin is pursuing these players, looking for an advantage, and LSU brass is supporting him in that effort. That's unequivocally true. Whether you agree, disagree, that's true. But it's also true for half of the Southeastern Conference and other major programs that are talking about it publicly. So what transpires, I don't know. It's worth noting John Rothstein. Now, that was Joey McGuire talking from the Big 12's perspective. John Rothstein earlier today tweeted, citing sources, the ACC will have a meeting Wednesday to discuss whether or not it will enforce similar eligibility rules as the Big Ten and the SEC did on Tuesday. So we'll wait and see the result of that ACC meeting and what may come of that. If we do get that while we're on air, if it's dropped, I just tried to check. I don't know that I saw it, but if we do get something like that before we go off air, we'll certainly talk about it and let you know. But the bottom line is that's where things are trending. Now, a couple of other tidbits I'll tell you, and I did share this on Twitter earlier today. A few notes, and then after this, we'll move on. We'll do around the SEC and get into more of the meat of the show. But this is obviously the story that's leading everything, and LSU and Baton Rouge are in the epicenter of it. So naturally, we're going to talk about it as long as there's relevant things to discuss. A few things. Number one, the Notre Dame edge, Junior Tuihalamaka, his reps confirmed to me today they believe he is eligible. Like, he does not fall under the purview of that SEC release. He did not sign with an NFL team. They believe he is eligible and will still be available to join LSU's roster, provided he's granted the preliminary injunction on Monday in the Baton Rouge courtroom, right? The same 33 athletes, the 16 football players that got the TRO, they're all expected to be named still in the preliminary injunction hearing on Monday. So if Junior Tuihalamaka is granted that injunction on Monday, then in theory he'll be playing for LSU next week against Clemson. I was also able to confirm mutual interest between LSU and former Utah cornerback Blake Cotton. I told you that LSU is not done when we talked about this. Yes, we talked initially about Jack Pyburn, and then we learned about Junior Tuihalamaka, and then the two Ole Miss players. And I told you if they could add a cornerback, they were interested. And I also told you about a quarterback, a depth piece that I do believe, if the right person does in fact get injunctive relief, would join LSU's roster in a backup role, scout team, all that sort of stuff. So that's still trending in that direction. But Blake Cotton is interesting because I was told he is in Baton Rouge. Again, this is a former Utah cornerback who signed, again, went undrafted, signed with the Denver Broncos, was cut. The waiver policy came. He's available to go back into college. He enters the transfer portal. He's part of the injunction in Baton Rouge. And as I understand it, there's mutual interest, and he would likely commit to and sign with LSU if he's granted eligibility. But because he played for the Broncos, he would be ineligible, part of the new SEC policy. So that's something worth watching to see how that all transpires. I was told today Xavier Harris, the big defensive lineman, is in Baton Rouge. Remember, that that preliminary injunctive hearing is on Monday. And so a lot of these players, talking to some attorneys today, they feel like it's important for players to be there to show the judge that it's important to them and it matters. And then, moreover, LSU, the semester began on Monday. And so if you're going to enroll and be in classes, you kind of need to be here. So I think that's part of this, tilling the soil and preparing in case it does happen that way. So as I mentioned, the 33 plaintiffs that received the TRO last week, there's a preliminary injunction hearing for Monday. And as Ross Dellinger, that's against the NCAA. And as Ross Dellinger reported, these attorneys are considering action against the SEC, the Big Ten, the conferences to gain eligibility for their clients. And my understanding from LSU's perspective is they will follow the court's order. Whatever the court rules is what LSU will follow. So unfortunately, for many of us who are not legal experts, we'll have to continue keeping an eye on legal rulings. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, fmolhealth.org/LSU. That's the website if you want to learn more about the Championship Health Partnership, fmolhealth.org/LSU. You know, whenever the Tigers get bumps and bruises, whatever it may be, they trust the lake with their health care. And it's Lane Kiffin, it's Jordan Seaton, and Whit Weeks, and Sam Levitt, and Trey'Dez Green, and Braelin Moore, and DJ Pickett, and all these elite players at LSU. They trust the lake, and so do I, for my primary care, health care, when I needed emergency care for my appendicitis. We bring Drew to Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital. If it's cancer or stroke or heart health or pediatrics, as we mentioned, I trust the lake, and so should you. fmolhealth.org/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here from Marucci Hitter's House on Segan Lane. Y'all come by while we're here. Remember, not only do they have discounted campus tours, they also have a great footwear sale going on right now here at Marucci. Deal on cleats, turfs, training shoes right now at Hitter's House. They got a huge footwear sale, just $50 when you need cleats, turfs, or training footwear. Now is the time to save, so come stop by Hitter's House in Baton Rouge on Segan Lane. Check out the selection. Grab your next pair before they're gone. $50 footwear only at Hitter's House. Okay, let's knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. Stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Glad to have you aboard with us here, and always love telling you about our friends over at Watermark and Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Actually, not far from where we are on Bluebonnet is Renaissance Baton Rouge. Hey, LSU's going to play a football game a week from Saturday. And, I mean, it's wild to think, but it's here. And you probably have friends or family coming in from out of town, clients that are going to come in for a game. And if you need a place to stay, make sure they know about Renaissance Baton Rouge. Right there on Bluebonnet, near I-10, convenient access to I-10, which means it's easy to get on the interstate, get to LSU. And then you have the mall and Perkins Road right across the street, so convenient shopping there as well. Great restaurant opportunities. I mean, look, you go right up to Perkins, hang a left. Supper Club is right there on your right. You've got Tallulah inside of Renaissance Baton Rouge, which is an awesome dining experience. Make sure you check out Renaissance Baton Rouge in Bluebonnet. Great place to stay for all the home games. Great place to host your next event, whatever type of event. Make sure you check them out. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has 0% APR with no payments for 90 days and $1,000 down payment assistance on select 2026 Ford models.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help.
River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com. Man, I love telling you about River Parish Contractors because I love telling you about great local businesses. 25 years, man. They opened up in 2001, celebrating 25 years in business. It has been my great pleasure to get to know so many of the great folks over at River Parish Contractors. Ronnie and Big Jake and all the crew popping on in to see them there at Reserve at the Fab Shop, which is awesome, which, by the way, is open 24/7. So if you want to pop in any point to check on your project or any project, you can do it. And yes, 24/7 because they have day shifts and night shifts. Y'all, they are rolling around the clock. So if you're looking for work, why wouldn't you go work at River Parish Contractors? You can work days, you can work nights, as much overtime as you want, great benefits, awesome people, and you're home with your family every night. They're looking for a diesel mechanic right now. I just saw this posted on their social media, so check it out. It's River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake at River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Well, we actually got a little bit of, a little bit of good news, man. Share some fun football-related stuff. Yesterday, LSU awarded the 18-7 jerseys, and they made it public today. Might have had a little bit of a heads-up on this, but LSU posted it this morning. Braelin Moore is going to wear 18, and Whit Weeks and Trey'Dez Green are going to wear 7. So maybe some good vibes here, all right? The last time, this is only the second time ever that an offensive lineman has gotten 18. Now, you obviously can't, the offensive lineman, Braelin Moore, can't wear 18. He's got to wear 61, but he'll have a patch. But if you remember, the last time, the only time, an offensive lineman wore 18 was Lloyd Cushenberry, also a center in 2019. LSU, of course, had the greatest season ever, won the national championship. Maybe, just maybe, I don't know, some good vibes, some synergies there. 7 is interesting because, it's funny, Whit Weeks, when we were at SEC Media Days, I asked Whit about wearing 18. And he said, look, I know the tradition, it'd be an honor, but he actually sort of stumped for Bo Bordelon to wear 18. Well, it's another offensive lineman, another veteran offensive lineman that got it. But Whit's going to be changing numbers anyway from 40 now to 7. Harold Perkins, of course, has had 7 the past couple of years. But, what really stood out to me is that if you remember back around January when Lane Kiffin had come in and the portal was open and they were doing the contracts and putting the roster together, I told you at the time that this staff, the new staff, prioritized 3 players on offense and 3 players on defense. On offense, it was Harlan Berry, Braelin Moore, Trey'Dez Green. And on defense, it was Whit Weeks and the 2 cornerbacks, P.J. Woodland, DJ Pickett. Those are the 6 players they prioritized. Well, think about it. Braelin Moore is wearing number 18. Trey'Dez Green's getting 7. On defense, Whit Weeks is wearing 7 also. And, well, DJ Pickett's changing his number, but we don't need to go down that road about DJ Pickett changing his number, right? We all know what's up. But the point is, this coaching staff very clearly identified the players they wanted to retain, and these are 3 of those players are being honored with the 18 and 7s. So congrats to those guys on the honor. Y'all know how I feel about it. I'm not a jersey number guy. I don't really care. My line is always put a poop emoji on the jersey. I don't care. You want to wear 18 or 7 or 40. To me, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your number is. But my point is always, if it matters to the players, that matters. If Braelin Moore getting 18 matters to Braelin Moore, then it's a big deal. If Whit Weeks and Trey'Dez Green throwing on that 7 matters to those guys, then it's a big deal. So congrats to those guys for the honor. Great leaders, guys I've really enjoyed, during their time at LSU, covering them, talking to them. They've been great representatives of the program, and congrats to them as kind of starts to feel like we're getting a little closer to football now with those jersey number announcements. All right, it's After Further Review. We're here at Marucci Hitter's House. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We're glad you're aboard. We are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. It's interesting. We're here on Segan, and Cloverland is right there. The original Relief Windows office was right around the bend from here, but now they've moved, as you probably well know. Their new headquarters is on Airline Highway in Prairieville. So if you're going south on Airline into Prairieville, you cross Highway 42 about a quarter mile on the right. You can't miss it. Giant showroom. But it doesn't matter. Like, if you're listening in Lake Charles, Lafayette, Alec, anywhere in the state, Monroe, New Orleans, wherever you are, Relief Windows serves the entire state of Louisiana, really the whole Gulf Coast. So if you want energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, Hardy Plank Vinyl Siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters too. You want Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. And they do roller shades, so check those out as well. Maybe you work night shifts, and so you sleep during the day. You need those roller shades, those blackout shades. You want Relief Windows. Or just to keep your home more energy efficient during the day when it's really hot outside, you want Relief Windows. Reliefwindows.com. All right, it's after further review here from Marucci Hitter's house because we're on remote. Muse will take care of it. Muse, hit it around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama defensive lineman Jeremiah Beeman, he suffered an ACL injury in Sunday's preseason practice. He will miss the 2026 football season. Yay, Alabama announced that news on Wednesday. Underwent the surgery already. That took place Tuesday at UAB St. Vincent's. He's entering year 3 for the Tide. Was on the road to recovery from an ACL injury he sustained early last season. You'll remember Beeman started Alabama's season opener against Florida State because he was filling in for Tim Keenan III. And then the very next week in practice, he injured his own ACL, which ended year 2. Now year 3 has been ended by the same injury.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Bulldogs added defensive lineman Eddie Kelly Jr. through the transfer portal. That comes from Pete Nakos over at On 3. This will be his 5th FBS stop in his career. Missouri, Georgia Tech, USF, West Virginia a year ago, and now for Mississippi State. Sought an extra year of eligibility in July, filing the temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. Trained in the UFL, did not sign a professional contract last season, all 12 games for the Mountaineers, 29 tackles, half a sack, and 1.5 TFLs. He'll suit up for Jeff Levy and the Bulldogs.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Baseball note here for the Vols. Reese Chapman has rejoined the Tennessee baseball program, seeking an injunction to play a 5th year with the Volunteers. Veteran outfielder, played 4 seasons up in Knoxville from 2022 to 2026. Joined the Vols as a student assistant coach, as a matter of fact. Did not sign a UDFA deal after the MLB draft. Of course, had a breakout season a year ago, hitting .319 with 11 bombs and 46 RBI. He is seeking the injunction, which would allow him to play. He's been on campus and enrolled at Tennessee since Friday.
The Missouri Tigers.
And then lastly, a quick update to Missouri's football schedule here for 2026. They've announced that their Week 3 game with Troy has been moved from an 11:45 a.m. kickoff to a 6 p.m. kickoff. The game will be broadcast on the SEC Network. Plus, Week 3 matchup with Troy will serve as the Tigers' celebration of the 100th year at Memorial Stadium in Columbia. Of course, they're going to wear some special uniforms for that as well. It'll be the 5th meeting all time between the Tigers and the Trojans. Mizzou leads that series 3-1. That is around the SEC.
All right, thank you, Moose. We're here at Marucci Hitter's house. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Let off around the SEC there with the story about Jeremiah Beeman, if you missed it. A defensive lineman from Alabama who tore his ACL Sunday is out for the season. Just that sucks. It's just at any level in any sport, when no one ever wants to ever see an injury, it just feels like when it happens in a practice or a scrimmage before the season starts, like Gabe Relaford and Aiden Anding in spring, it just, God, it just sucks even more when it happens like that. Beeman missed all of last year, or nearly all of last year, with a right knee injury, played in just one game, and now was going to be back, and now another injury. It's just so reminiscent of Gabe Relaford. And you bleed for those guys, man. So it's certainly a hit to Bama's defensive line, competitively. But it just really sucks for the young guy. The thing I would say to point out is, knock on wood, but from LSU's perspective, they were remarkably healthy in fall camp. I mean, the things we talked about were, Lamar Brown got rolled a little, but was back at practice a few days later. They held him out of the scrimmage on Saturday, but he's fine. Jace Brown and Winnie Watkins at times, missed a practice. They were in gold. They held Jordan Ross out of a few practices. Malik Blockton missed a practice. But, it was all precautionary for little bumps and bruises and scrapes, but nothing significant. And, that it was really devastating to lose Relaford and Anding in spring, especially with no spring portal, because you didn't have the option or the opportunity to go supplement your roster because There wasn't another portal window there. So you're just down those two guys at those two spots. So you're down a body there. But, man, in fall camp, LSU has remained remarkably healthy, but other programs around the conference, it has certainly not been the case. I mean, we already talked about Bama losing a running back. Tennessee lost a starting safety for the season. South Carolina lost 2 starting receivers for the season. Injuries, it's football. Injuries happen, but thankfully in camp so far anyway, again, knock on wood, but LSU's made it through here 10 days to the opener with Clemson, surprisingly healthy. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let's knock out our final break of hour number 1. We'll come back. Actually, believe it or not, some kind of significant New Orleans Pelicans news. I'll get to that briefly to wrap up hour number 1. And a way too early mock draft from Jordan Reed that I want to get to, because it is sort of, it doesn't matter for a thing other than to just sort of tell you a launching point of what scouts think about some of the guys in this LSU team. We'll share it with you as we continue. Stay with us here. It's AFR from Marucci.
After further review.
Our Hump Day shows all throughout the year are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine today. Honest to goodness, true story. And he told me, he's like, man, I met with my doctor and he doesn't want me to get on hormone therapy. I'm like, what were your testosterone levels? He said, well, they're in the 300s. I almost spit milk out of my nose. I mean, I cannot imagine. And I get it. Most people don't know what those levels mean. But if you want to get to healthy, feeling awesome levels like you did when you were younger, you want to be north of 700. When you were 18, you were probably 12, 1500 testosterone, but even just being able to wake up and have great waking energy, clear your brain fog, not feel sluggish, to be able to burn fat, build muscle, and be energetic and go attack the day, that's all part of having healthy hormone levels. And as we age, all of us, those levels decline. Goodwood can help. YourGoodwood.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new Ram 1500 truck on our lot now with $22,000 off MSRP.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
A union 4 years in the making. This is wild. I saw this earlier today. Shams had it first, that the Pels have agreed to a deal, a 4-year deal with Ben Mathurin. So 4 years, forgive me. 2 years, $16 million. 2 years, $16 million. Apparently, according to Shams, Mathurin's reps, they approached the Clippers about withdrawing his $8.8 million qualifying offer. And it turned that qualifying offer into, I'm reading from Shams here, a more favorable situation in New Orleans, which added security. So Mathurin, according to Shams, prioritized flexibility and the earliest path to unrestricted free agency next summer instead of a long-term offer with larger total commitments to but greater team control. So for Ben Mathurin and his reps, he chose a different path, and that led him to New Orleans. This is so fascinating because if you recall, and you may not, when in the 2022 NBA draft, Ben Mathurin was very commonly mocked to New Orleans in that draft, the small forward coming out of Arizona. And he ended up going 6 overall to the Pacers, and that's when New Orleans used the 8th pick on Dyson Daniels. So they didn't have the opportunity to draft Mathurin, although that was the pick many thought was going to land in New Orleans. Now, here 4 years later, Mathurin and the Pelicans finally find each other. Now, there's a different head coach in New Orleans, and obviously there's a different leadership now in Joe Dumars. But getting that deal done to bring Mathurin here from the Clippers is pretty outstanding. So they had their eye on Ben Mathurin for a long time. He's a 4-year NBA vet. It's a 2-year deal worth $16 million. The skinny on Mathurin, 6'5", 210-pounder. Again, was the 6th overall pick out of Arizona by the Pacers in 2022. So when you look at the offseason now for the Pelicans, they've added Ben Mathurin. Remember, they also signed Trendon Watford last week. So these aren't necessarily roster moves that are going to adding Watford and Mathurin aren't necessarily the organization-changing roster moves that some might have expected with Joe Dumars. But you do have a good young core, and Mathurin averaged 17, 5, and 4. 17 points, 5 boards, 2 assists with the Clippers. And they made this work financially to make it happen. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's averaged double figures in each of his 4 seasons in the NBA. He had a career high last year at 17.6 points per game. Played part of the season with the Pacers before going to L.A. with the Clippers. 28 points from 3. He's had double figures in 44 of his 54 games last year. A season high of 38 last season. So you're talking about a guy from the 3 who could fill it up, who can create a shot. They loved him in the draft in 2022, and now they're going to get him as a more seasoned young professional here. 2-year deal, but it does get Mathurin closer to unrestricted free agency in the next couple of years. So again, he sort of forfeits that $8.8 million qualifying offer from the Clippers, but it will get him to free agency sooner. So it makes sense for Ben Mathurin sort of betting on himself to free agency sooner. The Pelicans get a player at a position, at the player they like at a position they certainly need help at, and I like it. So pretty cool that this the Pels and Ben Mathurin finally found their way to each other. The full write-up, if you want to read it, by William Weathers, is up over at LouisianaSports.net. As we remind you all the time, everything always free over at LouisianaSports.net, where I should remind you the Saints are practicing tonight at Yulman Stadium. One of my favorite, maybe my favorite day of Saints training camp. The Yulman Stadium practice is awesome. I mean, look, Yulman is a great venue if you've never been. It's right there uptown on Tulane's campus. I've been to high school football games there, state championship. Catholic played Jesuit there a few years ago in the state championship game. Go Bears. So it's an awesome venue, and the players, like, you're just riding your bikes through the streets of uptown New Orleans. They have the practice under the lights, and fans are invited to attend. It's such a cool novelty thing that they do, and that's tonight. So anyway, Ross Jackson will be there covering that practice for us at LouisianaSports.net, and he'll have all of his practice notes. So Ross normally joins us in hour 3 to give a recap of practice. Well, because they practiced tonight, we won't have that with Ross today, but we will have the practice report up at LouisianaSports.net this evening when it's all done. So make sure you check on it there. Bookmark LouisianaSports.net. It's always free. And as we remind you all the time, if you want breaking news, whenever there's breaking news, we text our LouisianaSports.net links out. All you have to do is text LSN, as in LouisianaSports.net, LSN, those 3 letters. Text LSN to 225-499-1045, 499-1045, 499-1045. Text LSN to 225-499-1045. Do it now because you have to text, because you have to opt in. That's why you have to do it. So opt in, and then as soon as if we ever have breaking news, boom, you'll get texted that breaking news right away. All right, it's after further review. We're here at Marucci Hitter's House, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. There's just so much reaction to everything going on right now with all the roster movement and the NFL players and all that stuff. We'll continue to sprinkle that in throughout. But last night, the LSU community came together to honor the late Skip Bertman, and it was just an awesome ceremony. Verge Osbury had this to say during the celebration of life.
We win at LSU, and we win a lot, and we won't ever apologize for it. But our student athletes are here because they, too, are just different. They want to wear the unmistakable purple and gold. They want to play with other athletes as motivated toward greatness as they are. They want to be elite. They want to always be special. This isn't a promise or something recent. It's been here for quite a while. It was the way Skip demanded it. It was the way it should always be.
Verge, whenever you're around for as long as Skip has been, you feel like you've heard every possible Skip story. So when you hear a story for the first time, it is a little jarring. And Verge told an amazing story of sitting in the suite at Lexington for the Bluegrass Miracle game with Skip and Dan Radakovich, talking about being the chosen one. It was hilarious. If you missed it, go check it out. You can find it on YouTube. A beautiful celebration of life last night for Skip Bertman. Hour 2 next.
After further review.
I got a text earlier today, and Alondra can verify this, that I'm not making this up. I got a text at, what time was it? Here it is. I got a text at 11 a.m. on the nose. Hello, Matt. This is the Williamson Eye Center. Our records indicate it's time for your next eye exam. Your eye health is important to us. Use our scheduling link. Boom. There it is right there. Hey, look, I tell you all the time at the Williamson Eye Center, it's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. So make sure you schedule your annual eye exam at the Williamson Eye Center. They got locations all over Greater Baton Rouge, 6 locations all over Greater Baton Rouge. You know, in Baton Rouge proper, in Zachary, Ascension, Livingston, Lutcher. So there's a location near you. Eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. You need to upgrade or update your contact or glasses prescription or get new lenses. They can help you there. If you want to ditch them forever, a refractive procedure is available at the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020 or go to williamsoneye.com.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. continuing to make his way back from a torn ACL will not play in Friday's preseason finale. Penix, though, remains confident he'll be good health-wise to start the season opener.
Each and every day I'm getting better, getting more confident. And, I'm not playing this week because, obviously I only had 3 practices under my belt under doing 11-on-11 stuff. But I've been feeling really good. And, as long as I keep the track that I'm on, I definitely feel like I will be where I need to be mentally and physically to feel confident enough to go out there in week 1. And, as far as, being healthy and all that, I feel good.
Penix Jr. just returned to full practices on Monday. Tua Tagovailoa will start against the Dolphins on Friday. Coach Kevin Stefanski has said he is not sure when he'll make his QB1 decision. Buccaneers rookie pass rusher Reuben Bain Jr., dealing with an AC sprain, will be available for Week 1. The Big Ten and Commissioner Tony Petitti agreed to a 5-year extension, keeping him with the conference through the summer of 2033. During his tenure, the conference has won the last 3 football national championships, as well as national titles in men's and women's basketball.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It is AFR Hump Day Shows, brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We're here on site at Marucci Hitter's House. Alondra's on site. Moose, Paulie are back in studio. Glad to have you hanging with us. Cat Terrell in 30 minutes. Russ Mitchell returns next hour, fired up. Next week, we'll obviously be previewing the full slate of games in the Southeastern Conference. But today, with Russ, we'll do sort of a preseason out-of-hibernation look. We'll take a full segment to get Russ's thoughts on LSU, and then another segment to talk some SEC. Sleepers, who's underrated, overrated sort of thing, who he's got winning the league, all that good stuff with Russ, who returns next hour. We're looking forward to having Russ back on the show here this football season. It kind of feels like football when Russ can stop by. It's never too late to have a way too early mock draft. Jordan Reed over at ESPN took his stab at his first. And one of the things that I always give the caveat, like a mock draft is fun, but it's mostly a pointless exercise because we don't know the order in which teams are going to be, especially this early, the order in which teams are going to be picking. You don't know who's going to be traded, who's going to get hurt, and different things. Like I've told you before, the Mel Kiper, the final mock draft he did back in 2006. I guess those 7 draft. He had Brady Quinn like 3rd overall, and he fell into the 20s. I mean, it's not to knock Mel. I mean, he does a great job at what he does, obviously. It's just to say that there's a lot of uncertainty that always is involved in a mock draft. But typically what I like to do with a mock draft is look at, okay, number one, where are you picking? Because that'll be pretty indicative of what projections think you're going to do in the season. So from the NFL team's perspective, but then also it's sort of a pole position for what scouts think about players on your team now. Like, for example, last year at this time, y'all, like Patrick Payton was – it's hard not to laugh at this now, but Patrick Payton was a first-round draft pick in a lot of mock drafts last year at this point. I mean, dude was not only – did he go undrafted? He wasn't even a UDFA. He was a rookie camp invite for the Panthers. You talk about a massive fall, right? So there's always those. That might even be an outlier, but there's always those. So for whatever it's worth, Jordan Reed has Dante Moore going 1 to the Browns. He has the Browns trading up to number 1. Has Miami as the worst team in the league, but the Browns trading up to number 1 to take Dante Moore, and then Arch going to the Cardinals. C.J. Carr from Notre Dame, 3 to the Jets. Now, if there's one player that I think has that type of massive fall this year, it's C.J. Carr. And I don't mean to be dismissive of him. I think sometimes we are prisoners of the moment of a team's success that reflects on the player or the quarterback. And Notre Dame last year was a good football team. I think they also had an inflated record because they played a crap schedule. And I think they're going to go 11-1 this year because they play a crap schedule. They have 2 real tough games. I wouldn't even say real tough games, but playing Utah and Miami really is it. BYU and Miami really is it on their schedule. If they struggle anywhere else, shame on you. So I don't know how I would project C.J. Carr, but number 3 to the Jets, that would just be par for the course for the Jets. Jeremiah Smith, 4 to the Dolphins. Cam Coleman, the receiver at Texas, 5 to the Raiders. Dylan Stewart, the edge from South Carolina, 6 to the Titans. Leonard Moore, the cornerback from Notre Dame, 7 to the Panthers. And this is the thing that's equally exciting and terrifying. Jordan Reed has Colin Simmons, the outstanding former 5-star edge rusher from the University of Texas, going 8th overall to your New Orleans Saints. That means he's projecting the Saints to finish exactly where they did a year ago, if you're picking 8th overall. Now, the Saints won 6 games last year. And he writes, the Saints need edge help in both short and long term, as Chase Young and Carl Granderson will be free agents in 2028. Simmons would be a major boost to New Orleans' defensive front as the most productive edge rusher in this class. He led the SEC with 12 sacks last season. The 6'3", 245-pounder is a terror with an unpredictable assortment of pass rush moves. His combination of power and upfield quickness has him in the argument with Dylan Stewart as the top edge in this draft. I would love for the Saints to add Colin Simmons. I would loathe the Saints picking 8th overall because that would be 3 consecutive years that you're picking in the top 10. And that would just be devastating because I think these New Orleans Saints have a real opportunity to be a playoff team. I don't think they're going to be a great team, and the injuries in training camp sincerely have me worried. I'm concerned about the depth of this team, but I am a believer in Tyler Shuck. I do like all of the weapons they gave him. I know they'll be without Jordan Tyson for 2 months, but you should have a better running game with a fortified offensive line and Travis Etienne Jr., who you spent $54 million to add. I do like the fact that you went and added Barry and Brown and Bryce Lance and Oscar Delp. Like, you should have more weapons and a more functional offensive line and a more mature quarterback another year older. So I think the offense is better, and I think the defense could replicate what they did a year ago. I think you can win a bad division. If you do that, you should not be picking 8th overall. If they're picking 8th overall, that would be devastating. 2 LSU players. He's got Trey'Dez Green going 13 overall, and I think that plays. I could certainly see in the right situation Trey'Dez Green being a guy that goes in the top 15. He is not a prototypical tight end. He will not play prototype tight end. He will not put his hand in the dirt. That's not what he is. But if you want a 6'7" receiver that creates a mismatch literally in every game he plays, and a team that needs an offensive weapon, that's Trey'Dez. And I think that Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss are going to very efficiently and effectively use Trey'Dez Green this year. And then they have Jordan Seaton, the left tackle, going 16 overall to the Bears. For what it's worth, the Texas offensive lineman, Trevor Gooseby, they have going 11 to Atlanta. So they have Seaton as the second offensive tackle taken in the draft. So just a few things from Jordan Reed's way too early mock draft. The players that you look at who I think could find their way onto that list, Sam Levitt is the most obvious one. If Sam Levitt goes out and has a 3,500-yard passing season and runs for 500-600 yards, accounts for 40 touchdowns, and all of a sudden you're talking about a guy that does project himself into round one. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, I think Dante Moore and Arch Manning will be there at the top of the draft. I'm skeptical on C.J. Carr. I think you're more likely to see something like Levitt replacing C.J. Carr somewhere among the top quarterbacks in the draft if he goes out, stays healthy, and has the type of season I think he's capable of having. Outside of that, Ty Benefield would be the other. Now, safety is not a premium position in the NFL. So sometimes, for a safety to go in round one, it feels like it has to be someone like a Jamal Adams, who's going to go, or Eric Reed, guys like that, who are going to be these sort of transcendent type players at that position because it's not a premium position. But Caleb Downs a year ago is probably a better example, even more recently. So Benefield could be that guy if he's like the lone safety in this draft who finds his way to slip into round one. So something worth keeping an eye on. Just fodder there as we start the season from Jordan Reed over at ESPN.com. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Hancock Whitney Bank, official banking partner of the New Orleans Saints and the official banking partner of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. And you can be a card-carrying member of the Houdat Nation or of Tiger Nation. I'll show you all right now, man. I'm not lying. Paulie put the camera on me. Got my money clip. Here it is. Alondra can verify. Make sure I'm not showing anybody my card number, right? But there it is. My Gold Saints debit card. I've had it forever. I was about to tell him the expiration, but I ain't doing that. Come on, I ain't crazy. I ain't giving you the expiration date of my card. Oh, crazy. But anyway, you want the custom LSU card, you can get it. If you get the Saints card, they have black or gold, whichever you want. So, look, when you go to the Saints game in a dome, they do that thing where they give you cash when you hold up your card if you're a card-carrying member. You do that, or you can get $600 as well when you open a checking or a savings account if you go to HancockWhitney.com/Matt, HancockWhitney.com/Matt. My name, HancockWhitney.com/MATT. That's where you can go to learn more. I've been banking with Hancock Whitney for as long as I've had a checking account. Y'all should as well. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. Remember, minimum deposit, account opening balance, and other requirements apply. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com, member FDIC. Go to HancockWhitney.com/Matt, official banking partner of the LSU Tigers and the official banking partner of your New Orleans Saints. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here from Marucci Hitter's House here on this Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Going to knock out a quick break, come back. Cat Terrell's here in about 15 minutes from right now. Looking forward to talking some Houdat with Cat. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I know it's only Wednesday, but we're closer to the weekend. And I am so looking forward to week 0. I got nothing on my calendar for week 0. I'm going to be watching football all day Saturday. Start with the game in Dublin, go through to the game. Is it Hawaii? What's the West Coast game? Don't matter. I'm locked in no matter what. Stanford, Hawaii, is that the night game? Doesn't matter. I'm locked in. And I'm going to be watching maybe every minute of those games from my pool. I love being able to spend my weekends at my pool. It is really the only way to exist outside when the heat index is like 110 degrees. But if you've ever thought of putting in a pool, you got to call Duplessis Pools. Derek and his team are awesome. I've told you, Pool & Spa Magazine, top 50 pool builder in America 2 years in a row. 3D technology at the website where you can go design your pool online in seconds. DuplessisPools.com. Check them out online, DuplessisPools.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at ReliefWindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
When a capital project moves from planning to execution, downtime isn't an option. Who do you trust to deliver? River Parish Contractors has more than 500 employees, dedicated safety, quality, and project management teams, and 9 full-time estimators backed by a 36,000 square foot automated pipe and structural steel fabrication facility. We can deliver multi-million-dollar industrial construction projects on time and safely, locally owned and headquartered in South Louisiana. We're River Parish Contractors, and we're built for bigger challenges.
Supper Club, BTR.com. That's where you can go to get your reservation. It's Wednesday. How about you kick off your weekend early with our friends over at Supper Club? Moscona, I don't have a reservation. Doesn't matter. Open seating at the bar, 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. Not far, actually, from where we are. Actually, they're on Perkins Road near Bluebonnet. It's not far from anything in town. I mean, it's a major artery in town. But, man, you just got to go experience it. If you've never experienced Supper Club, it's time. If it's been a while since you've been, it's time to go back. And Chef Layton does an awesome job of always updating the menu with new options. He's always scouring planet Earth for one-of-a-kind steak options and opportunities for you to go have the most unforgettable dining experience at Supper Club. So if it's a game day or any day, it's Supper Club. Get your reservation at supperclubbtr.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, we're calling an audible. That's a football pun. Kat was supposed to be on with us in 15 minutes. Then Alondra called her, and she's like, I can do it now. So we're going to talk to Kat Terrell now, ESPN NFL Nation reporter covering the Saints. Kat, how are you?
I'm great. I just wanted to show our audience that I'm capable of, thinking on my feet and changing at the last minute.
On the fly. Love it. Hey, do you love the Yeoman practice?
I do like it. I think it's a nice change. One, because every time I stepped outside today, I wanted to die a little because it's 1,000 degrees. And two, I think it's cool that it's one more chance for the fans to see the team. I think it's hard for fans to be able to attend training camp practices because they tend to change on the fly as well when it rains and things like that. So it kind of feels like it's like one last time for fans to see the team before the regular season starts.
My hope, Kat, is that they just find a way to make it through each passing day without another injury. Do you have an update on Chris Olave?
I don't yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide whether or not we're going to take what Kellen said at face value because it happened for like 8 minutes before he talked to the media. He was at the podium so fast it was crazy, by the way. But he caught a deep pass, or was attempting to catch a deep pass. It was actually a flag on the defense on that play, and he kind of hit the ground hard. Took a minute to get up. Did get up, then walked all the way down to the opposite side of the indoor facility with athletic trainers, and they left. And so practice, it went on to the third team for the next set of team drills, and practice ended 4 plays later. So we don't know if he would have come back. I mean, obviously, whether he practices tonight will be a huge sign as to whether things are good or else is it something we need to be concerned about.
You said there was like 8 minutes. Give me some context, if you would. Like, why is that significant?
Because it happened so fast that I would think that Moore would only have time to get a brief update from the athletic trainers and medical staff before talking to us. So there wasn't really much time because he was still running practice for him to go get an in-depth update. So I did ask, did they tell you they're running more tests? Did they tell you it's going to be more serious? Anything like that. He said they didn't. But again, because it happened so fast, just because they didn't tell him we're running more tests at that time doesn't mean that something can't come up. I mean, I think you just never know. I mean, wasn't there a whole uproar about Jamar Chase being injured in Cincinnati yesterday, and then he was fine, and then I think he didn't practice today. And so these things do tend to change from day to day, but hopefully everything's okay, and we'll see in about 2.5 hours.
She's at @Cat_Terrell if you want to give her a follow. Okay, aside from Jordan Tyson, what would you say is the most significant injury to this roster so far in camp?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it kind of depends just on how you're viewing each position. Alvin Kamara is always going to be considered a big injury, but Travis Etienne just took the majority of the first team snaps and practice this training. So, that's not changing. Cam Jordan, I think, was significant, but again, how many snaps is Cam Jordan getting versus, Chase Young or Carl Granderson? And so those two are big, but I do think that Quincy Riley being injured is a significant one simply because I don't know what that depth looks like at the bottom of the cornerbacks room once the regular season starts and how those guys are going to play.
So I left that question intentionally open-ended because I wanted that to lead me into the next question, which was, okay, so if it's Quincy Riley, then walk me through your thoughts at the cornerback position with one preseason game left, how the Saints are.
I think that they have played better as training camp has gone on. I think Martin Emerson didn't look great early in camp, but, he's a guy with a lot of experience. I think he's played well lately. I know Isaac Yiadom has become the scapegoat of camp. There's always one. But I think he's been okay recently, too. I mean, camp is one of those things where you can look terrible one day and fine the next, and they're still always in the back of your mind, how are they actually going to play when the regular season starts? I mean, I know this is a different position, but a year ago, we were saying, this could lead you to another question if you want, but a year ago, we were saying Blake Grupe has won this kicker battle running away. He has missed one kick all of camp. He looks great, and he goes to the regular season, and he just can't kick with any consistency. So, I mean, sometimes you know, but other times players surprise you when the lights come on.
Okay. By the way, I am mortified and terrified about this team at cornerback. I can't believe they didn't do more to address it in the offseason. And
I think that's fair. Yeah. I think that's fair. Just a lot of inconsistency. So if I'm worrying about this now, what's it going to look like when they're playing against the Lions and not 17 days? Something like that?
I don't math. I was told there was no math.
I don't math either.
That's why I went to journalism school. I don't have to do math. If I wanted to do math, I would have been an engineer or a mathematician, but I'm not any of those things. Instead, I just get paid to talk about sports, which is a good gig if you can get it. Okay, flip it over to offense. So Jordan Tyson, we know the injury there. We just talked about Olave. I was so optimistic about this offense because of all that this team invested to build around Tyler Shuck, and it feels like camp has made that erode. Make me feel better about that situation.
About Olave specifically, or just the offense in general?
The offense because of all the injuries.
Okay, well, I can start with Olave. Say that everything's fine today and he practices as normal. I think Olave in the last week has looked fantastic. You can ask Ross Jackson this. You can ask my other Saints writers around me. I'm typically more cynical. I'm less likely to come out of a practice and say, oh my gosh, this player's having a great camp, until they show it to me a lot. Olave, I thought last week has looked great. So if he's playing this well going into the regular season, stays healthy, I think that is, obviously what you want to see after you sign him to a big contract. I think Achane has looked really good. I thought in Cowboys training against the Cowboys, I thought he looked great. Sometimes that is hard to say about a running back at practice because of the nature of that practice and no live tackling. Really looked good. And I do think if you want some positivity, that the rookie wide receivers have come on much faster than I anticipated they would at this point. So that's encouraging.
Okay. You haven't sold me completely, but I'll take it. I'll take it under consideration.
Cynical. I can't tell you completely, but I can give you reasons for positivity.
Sure.
As we head into the regular season.
Okay, I got two more things for you. Number one, with one weekend, one preseason game remaining, give me the most important position battle that you're going to be watching.
Oh my God! Well, kicker, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a reason for negativity, the fact that it is days before final cuts and they're bringing in a third kicker to figure this out is seriously concerning.
I mean, Sean Payton would just bring in kickers whenever. Like you missed a kick week 4, doesn't matter, you're out. Get out of here. I mean, Sean and them kickers. I'm conditioned to expecting the Saints just to have rotating kickers. It's just what they do. That doesn't bother me, I guess.
I think that as much as I like Charlie Smith, I think after he had those back-to-back three kick days in practice, that Sean probably would have moved on. For better or worse, sometimes Sean was so maniacal about the kickers, I think it probably made the kickers worse because they're so terrified they're going to lose their job. Yeah. But I do think in this situation, the Saints have probably waited too long to try to figure it out. I mean, they made a move toward that, but I would like to know my kicker situation far before this point, especially when you're talking about an offense that had a lot of red zone issues last year and at the beginning of camp as well.
Sean and them kickers, bro. Okay, last thing. What's the toughest cut that they're going to have to make?
That's a great question. I think that he's kind of maybe cooled down a little, but there was a week or two where I was standing on the table for Mike Heldman. I thought I just kept writing down his number, 63, like 63 out of pressure, 63 out of pressure. He had like a game the other day. I thought that is a guy with a lot of potential. I'm sure they're going to want him for the practice squad. I think that I think he's made the roster at this point, but Jaden Price has had a great camp. I think he's worked his way onto the roster. If they're still deciding on that, that would probably be one of the tougher cuts.
Okay. She's at @Cat_Terrell. That's Cat with a K, K-A-T, at @Terrell. Give her a follow there, Twitter X. You read her, of course, over at ESPN.com. Cat, we always appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Always. We'll do it again soon. It's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here from Marucci Hitter's House. Hump Day shows brought to you by Goodwood. Always love telling you about our friends over at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. At Lee Michaels, they're in the celebration business, no matter what you're celebrating. Maybe you're celebrating an anniversary. Maybe you're celebrating an engagement. You're thinking of popping the question, that beautiful diamond ring. Go to Lee Michaels. Say it all the time. It's the Goldilocks thing, right? You go to the box stores, it's cookie cutter. You go to the boutique jewelers, it's going to probably be overpriced without a great selection. Lee Michaels is that perfect in between. They got 9 locations, so they have the buying power of 9 different stores. They have great selection as well as great pricing, but you still get the Lee Michaels experience at personalized customer service. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, and they accept returns. If you give it to her and she doesn't love it, bring it back. They want her to be thrilled, so thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're halfway home here on Hump Day edition of AFR, live from Marucci Hitter's House. Y'all come hang out with us here. Remember, you can always go take your hacks in the cages. They got memberships where you get your own swipe key card access here. You want to come take your hacks anytime, any day, any season, you can do it. And the shoe sale is going on right now. You want to get great deals on cleats, turfs, training shoes. Hitter's House, they got a footwear sale going on right now. Footwear for just $50. What did you say? I said footwear for just $50 right here at Marucci Hitter's House. Come see us on Seagan Lane. All right, it's after further review. Russ Mitchell in 45 minutes. You will not want to miss the return of Russ as he comes out of hibernation. Let me knock out a break. I got a bunch of questions from you all on the text line about the legalities, the LSU guys that they've been recruiting, the commits that now are ineligible, the SEC. Is it worth it? I'll dive into some of your questions, and we'll answer those when we come back. Stay with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
AFR.
Hey, if your AC isn't keeping up, call River City's 1 Hour Air. Remember, at River City's 1 Hour Air, they'll always come out nights, holidays, and weekends, and they'll never charge you extra to come out nights, holidays, weekends either. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. They're simply the best. They've been around for more than 40 years, and you don't stay in business for 4 decades, getting double the amount of Google reviews of your next closest competitor if you're not doing something right. So if your AC's acting up, look, you have options. There's a million HVAC companies. But who is going to be on time? Who's going to do the job right the first time at a fair price? Like, maybe you think, oh, I'm going to call a discount HVAC company, or my friend Joe, the mechanic, the do-it-all guy, can fix it. But what if they actually don't do an appropriate install? Like, what if they don't fix the issue? It could become even more expensive with repairs down the line. Get it done right the first time. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I miss Louisiana.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We're back here from Marucci at his house. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know a lot of people, it's 4:30 in the afternoon if you're with us live here, and thank you for being with us. If you're watching on YouTube, shout out, thank you. Please smash that like button on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel if you're not yet. So I know a lot of people go back and listen on demand and watch on demand. Very grateful for that. But if you're with us live, a lot of people right now are knocking off work, jumping in the car, driving home. So thanks for being there. We opened the show today, where else, but talking about the thing that has dominated the conversation, certainly in the college sports landscape today, but really nationally. I mean, it's leading all the national shows, the power conferences sort of drawing the line in the sand, preventing the 2022 players who signed pro contracts from coming back into college. And so it's naturally gotten a lot of reaction from all of you. For example, Pete Thamel earlier today on Get Up talked about what the SEC's ruling Tuesday night means for LSU specifically.
Right now, LSU has 3 such players that were involved in a local state court ruling, which the lawyers will tell you should technically still make them eligible to play. State law obviously trumps conference law. That's Daquan Wright, you mentioned, Xavier Harris, and then a Notre Dame edge rusher, junior Tuihale Maka, who actually did not ever sign a pro contract, so his situation may be a little different. It's my understanding, Greeny, all 3 of these players are in Baton Rouge, and they are expected to push through the legal process to play. They're expected to likely start practicing with LSU at some point this week. This is not going to be a stand-down situation. The lawyers for these players made very clear last night that they continue to push forward against the SEC, and it creates a fascinating showdown between LSU and the SEC.
So I think the important part about what Pete said there is that, and this is the part that I think is going to be lost for. And look, I'm not a legal expert, okay? I think we know that. I'm way unqualified to talk about legalities. That's why we have a lot of attorneys on the show. Jeff Watson from Gordon McKernan has been kind enough to give us his time, over the months and years whenever we have these types of conversations. Gordon has been here with us. We talked to David Fleshman, who does NIL law. We've had a lot who help. And there's very candidly other attorneys who are, let's say, intimately familiar with these proceedings who maybe aren't comfortable coming on air, who have had the chance to talk to you about this as well. So I feel like as I jot down my notes and work through this, I have a pretty good understanding of it to where maybe I can oversimplify some of this stuff. I got a text into the show. If you want to get your questions in, you can. Nathan said, Matt, at this point, there's a pretty sizable portion of the fan base that's concerned LSU is treading in dangerous waters, especially now that SEC penalties have been announced. Is there anything you're hearing that would indicate that LSU isn't making a mistake here? Because without knowing any details, it seems like LSU may be opening itself up to major issues. So the part that it's why I wanted to play that Pete Thamel cut there, because the part that Pete said that's probably the most important here is state law trumps SEC law. Like, you have to keep in mind, and that's why, listen, I loathe the fact that people complain about lawlessness in college sports. There's no rules. It's the Wild Wild West, all the things people say. When we do have an enforcement body, the NCAA is an enforcement body, it has an enforcement arm with a whole bunch of rules. But when they try to enforce their rules, everybody runs to court. And nobody is exempt. Like the people today who are Ole Miss fans who are jeering LSU, remember, your quarterback did the same thing. He embellished tonsillitis to get a medical red shirt. When the NCAA denied it over and over and over again, he ran to court, got a sympathetic judge, and that's why Trinidad Chambliss is playing this year. Joey Aguilar tried to do the same thing at Tennessee. He got shot down. Diego Pavia, different thing. It was junior college eligibility. He went to court, got it, played last year. They went 10-2. It's happening all over the country. There are rules, and everyone is breaking them and are going to court to get exemptions. I think all of it's disgusting. Follow the rules. The only group that I'm moderately sympathetic to are these 2022 kids because they got screwed out of a year of eligibility. They were told you're out of eligibility, then changed the rule. It was a bait and switch. They were already out and then told you can't come back because you signed a pro deal. Well, they had to. They had no other recourse at the time. And then you changed the rule. So I have a modicum of sympathy for these 2022 kids. We don't need to go down that road. But the point is, like, The NCAA said Trey'Dez Chambliss is ineligible, but a court said he's eligible, so he's playing. That's the point here as well, and that's what LSU is going to follow. That's been made abundantly clear to me, is that LSU is going to follow a court order. So on Monday, there's going to be a preliminary injunction hearing in a Baton Rouge courtroom for the 33 student athletes, including the 16 football players that got the TRO. And if they're granted their injunction, a court in the state of Louisiana says they're eligible. That supersedes NCAA or SEC rule. Now, the NCAA is the plaintiff, not the SEC. But would the ruling enjoin the SEC? That's what we don't know, which is why you're hearing now thoughts that these players would, or the attorneys told Ross Dellinger they're also considering suit against the SEC. Spencer said, Matt, I understand the court ruling, and I understand the statement from the SEC. No matter what happens on Monday, isn't LSU a member of the SEC by choice, which means they are tied to obey rules set forth by the SEC governing body. If players get cleared Monday by the court, that's great, but the SEC has the right to hand down penalties, etc. Not really, because the court overrides the NCAA and or the SEC. Remember, like, this is the point. People have asked me over and over and over again, like, what if a player plays under the injunction, the temporary injunction, or a TRO, and then later deemed ineligible? Could you forfeit games? No, because the attorneys, trust me, I don't know this phrasing. I've had attorneys tell me. They include in these filings the restitution rule, meaning you cannot retroactively punish the school or the student athlete because they are eligible at the time they're playing under the TRO or the temporary injunction. So you can't then retroactively punish them. That's all part of this. And I know it feels new for LSU because this is really the first time that LSU has gone through these types of lawsuits and court cases, but trust me, Ole Miss people are familiar with it. They dealt with it with Chambliss. Tennessee, Vandy, with Pavia, like, go through the list of all the players that have gone to court to get an injunction to be able to play in all different sports. And the reason they keep doing it is because these athletes, for the first time, have so much to gain and lose by playing college athletics. Like, they have more to gain and more to lose if they don't. Like, it's why, like, Trey'Dez Chambliss might have been, a third-round draft pick last year, something like that. Had he come out, maybe, who knows? He's going to make $6 million this year playing at Ole Miss. Of course he went to court to try to get another year of eligibility, and I don't blame him. But what I can't stand for is the pounding the table, how incensed people are that these players are following this path now when it was okay for everyone else to go to court, or if you were okay. Maybe you weren't okay with it. However it may be. But the point is, like, this is the one group of athletes that I actually have a modicum of sympathy for because they did get screwed. The 2022 kids, the 2022 signees who played their 4 years in 4 seasons or 4 seasons in 4 years were told they're out of eligibility, and then they changed the rule. Like, I get it. There is gray there. But Heather Dinich, by the way, can you play this? Was on game night. Number 2, Muse from Dinich. Heather was asked, how long will eligibility be an issue?
So it's this year because it's that one class. It's 1 year of eligibility. And look, Lane Kiffin went on Pat McAfee today and made a good point. He's absolutely right when he said it is not just football players. I know for a fact personally that there are lacrosse coaches out there trying to get, a lacrosse player back for a year. Field hockey coaches saying, hey, come on back here. We've got a spot for you on the roster. So LSU is absolutely the poster child for this, and Lane Kiffin is a lightning rod for all of this kind of stuff. I don't know why this happened in a Baton Rouge court, but it did, and that's where it's at. But it certainly, Kiffin estimated on McAfee today that it's about, over 100 athletes who are in this 2022 class trying to get this eligibility.
There are, at this point, 18 cases involving over 150 student athletes in lots of different sports. I mean, the Baton Rouge case alone with the 33 athletes has 16 football players, but there's also men's and women's basketball players. There are baseball players involved in that as well. So, yes, it extends far beyond just Lane Kiffin and LSU football. And that maybe I could understand is the most frustrating part. Now, this is interesting, too, because Sam Ehrlich tweeted that a Tennessee Court of Appeals has issued an order staying the injunction granted. This was, I'm trying to see which players this involved. But anyway, this is a win for the NCAA in a state court. So, again, I don't want to veer too much, but the point is nothing is guaranteed when you go to court. And the best illustration of the contrast is that Trinidad Chambliss won his injunction in Mississippi State Court, not federal, state court. And Joey Aguilar lost his injunction in Knox County in state court. So two SEC quarterbacks in their home state, one and the other lost. So I don't know what's going to happen on Monday in the Baton Rouge State Court. You may roll your eyes at that, but, I mean, did anybody think Joey Aguilar wasn't going to get his injunction? So I assume that Judge Will Jordan, after hearing both sides of the case, is going to side with the plaintiffs. It's an assumption on my part. But what I think I know unequivocally is that LSU is going to do whatever the courts rule. They are going to obey the court's order. I've been told that, and Lane Kiffin said it yesterday on McAfee. Like, that's what's going to happen. What we know, though, right now, and I reported earlier today after having been able to make contact with reps for Junior Tua Halamaka, he is not held under that SEC ruling, so he is eligible. LSU has commitments from the two former Ole Miss players, and they are also, I'm told, there's mutual interest with LSU and Blake Cotton, who is a cornerback for Utah, who did sign with the Broncos, part of this injunction, and is trying to come back. And as I understand, he's in Baton Rouge now. But again, a lot of these guys, I think, are going to be physically present in the courtroom on Monday. As I had a conversation with an attorney yesterday, it would behoove them in front of the judge to show how serious they are to physically be there. So I think you should see a lot of those guys there actually at the court hearing on Monday. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems, ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, Industrial Generac Generator Power. And I was thinking back, a friend of mine lost power yesterday with all those storms at their home, and they don't have a generator, and it's just, I went through that with Ida. And being without power for 9-10 days, whatever it was, and we will never do it again. So we had a generator installed at our home. And I think about it, like, what about your business? It's the same thing. What happens to your business if you lose power for a week, 10 days, whatever it might be? Like, if you went through that with Ida, don't ever go through it again. Call Arco Power Systems, Industrial Generac Generator Power. It's generators for your home, generators for your business, your industrial commercial facility. It's Arco.com, ARCCO. They're not far from where we are, right down the street. I mean, go up to Airline, go north, boom, they're on the left by I-12. But they service a giant area, north to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antone. It's Arco, ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, Arco.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Russ Mitchell in 30 minutes from right now. Excited about that conversation. Let's break. We'll come back. Musil Handle Tigers and the Pros. It is a Hump Day edition of AFR from Marucci Hitter's House. Stick around.
AFR.
Literally right across the street over there is Clegg's Nursery from where we're sitting here at Marucci Hitter's House. Clegg's is awesome, y'all. Get them by any of the 4 locations. I know it is 97 degrees right now. It's crazy. So we are not really even close to talking about like fall weather. The hint of fall has not arrived. I don't know when it will arrive. So as long as the summer weather is here, make sure you have those summer blooms all throughout your patio, pots, your flower beds. make sure you get by Clegg's Nursery, bypass the big box stores, and support a great local company that's been in Baton Rouge for 6 decades. It's Clegg's Nursery. Siegner Airline, like across the street from where we are. Like if I look across the street toward 2 o'clock, boom, right over there. LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They've been doing it for 60 years. So buy local, shop local, and be sure to tell them Matt sent you in when you go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new Ram 1500 truck on our lot now with $22,000 off MSRP.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunities to get folks out who might not otherwise have the financial means to come sailing. Auctions in August is an online fundraiser that helps nonprofits like us service the community. Bidding through Auctions in August is a lot of fun because there's so many different items. There's something for everyone, so you're sure to find something that relates directly to you that you'll enjoy bidding on, and you get to help out the community.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Raising Cane's Texas Toast is a thick slice of bread, garlic buttered spread, grilled to golden perfection, and made to order just for you. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite.
Proform Steel, our friends over at Proform Steel. Check them out at proformla.com. If you need a metal building, you want Proform Steel. It's that easy, proformla.com. Hop on the website. As a matter of fact, if you go to the website and you request a quote, you see a little button at the top right. It'll take you through the process where you kind of go through the process of describing what you're looking for. They will call you same day with a quote. And that quote, that price is the price. Proformla.com, proformla.com. Tons of differentiators. You got a lot of options if you're looking for a metal building, but Proform Steel is the best because Brandon Golson's part of the state licensing board, so you know you got an ethical guy. You're talking about better lead times because everything is in-house, so sometimes 10 weeks ahead as far as lead times. So you're talking about American-made materials, so you're supporting great American jobs and free delivery on every building, regardless of the size. It's Proform Steel, proformla.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here from Marucci's Hitter's House. Glad you're aboard with us. Remember, take those campus tours. They always give you discounts for groups as well. So school, classes, if you want to go as a class, teams, got to take the campus tour here at Marucci if you've never done it, where the official bats of Major League Baseball are made. It's so cool, man. To see back there where they make the bats, how they paint the bats for the customs, like on Players Weekends. It's awesome. And you got to come here if you've never been. Check it out. The campus tour here at Marucci Hitter's House. Okay, Musu. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Really good night on the mound on Tuesday for all the former Tigers in Major League Baseball. We'll start it with Jaden Hill, remarkably efficient in his outing for the Rockies. 1 shutout inning of relief. Didn't walk anybody, punched out 1, threw 5 pitches. All of them were strikes. 3 up, 3 down, out of there. Hold number 12 on the season for Jaden Hill, and the Rockies got a 3-1 win in that one. Grant Taylor picked up save number 8 as the Chicago White Sox defeated the Texas Rangers. Taylor came in relief of former Arkansas Razorback Hagen Smith and got the last out of the ball game. So a third of an inning, took 2 pitches for Taylor, and again results in save number 8, the ERA, down to 2.11. To the starting pitchers for LSU, Gage Jump, fantastic last night for the Athletics. 6 1/3, just 2 earned runs on 2 hits, walked 2, punched out 9 in that ball game. Picked up the win, 6th win of the season and his career for Gage Jump. Fantastic outing there. Tommy White, for what it's worth, went 1 for 4 in the ball game with a double, his 4th double of the season, drove in a run and came around to score. Aaron Nola was magnificent for the Philadelphia Phillies, although they didn't help him very much. 6 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits, walked 3, punched out 7. Nola took the loss off of that great outing. Just about an identical outing to Gage Jump. He got the win. Nola takes the loss. Phillies scored just 1 run in that ball game, but that's now 6 outings in a row where Aaron Nola has been very, very good. And then Paul Skeens. Boy, this was needed. Skeens, 6 shutout frames for the Pirates a night ago. Just 3 hits. Didn't walk anybody and punched out 4 in that ball game. Got a no decision. Unfortunately, the Pirates did win it 1-0, but I think the bigger story there is Skeens firing 6 shutout and looking a little bit more like himself. Can he build on it? That question will be answered in his next start. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, the weekly specials are up. How about this? Do you love 93% lean ground beef? Who doesn't? Only $5.88 a pound right now. I save $3.11 a pound. That's like almost half. I'm not even good at math. London broiler top round roast for $5.88 a pound. They got Rouse's russet potatoes you can get right now. If you love your soft drinks, Coke, Sprite, Barks, 3 for $9. Check it out right now at Rouse's. Go make a deal over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. The NFL has eliminated, Schefter reporting, the NFL has eliminated the Pro Bowl games. The focus will shift to celebrating the honor of being a Pro Bowl selection. I'm actually surprised. I know, it's largely been a punchline, and they stopped playing the game. But the NFL finds ways to make money by creating TV inventory. The Pro Bowl games was TV inventory, so not having it is a little bit of a surprise. The NFL passes on a revenue opportunity, which they seldom, if ever, do. Okay, hour number 3 coming up. Stay here.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's me and Terrio and Tilly, our great staff. And, of course, now our partner, Drew Brees, over at Parrish Construction and Roofing. As a matter of fact, in our Parrish text I just got, there was there's a line of thunderstorms possible tomorrow morning in Louisiana and Mississippi, including isolated strong thunderstorms possible. Y'all, it's just that time of year, right, when we're coming through storm season. We've been very fortunate to avoid the big name storms. But look, the winds blow, there's heavy rain, and that can damage your roof. Let us come give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. We'd love to help you out. You can schedule online at parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Just fill out the form on the homepage at parrishbuilt.com. Roof repairs, roof replacements, commercial, residential. We install gutters. We can soft wash your home or property. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Go to parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. parrishbuilt.com.
Bayou Ford has 0% APR with no payments for 90 days and $1,000 down payment assistance on select 2026 Ford models.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
Supreme Jasmine is premium.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Starting this season, the NFL will focus discipline on field rules, violations that would likely result in injuries to players. They are hip drop tackles, horse collar tackles, launching, hits on defenseless players, and blindside blocks. Any player who commits 3 of these 5 offenses will be suspended for 1 game. Positive news for the Buccaneers regarding rookie pass rusher Reuben Bain Jr. He's dealing with an AC sprain, but Coach Todd Bowles says he'll be available for the season opener at the Bengals. There's a lot to like about the 15th overall pick in this year's draft, says former Bucs All-Pro linebacker and Super Bowl 55 champion Levante David.
An animal, what I see as an animal. He's going to play, 100% every down, going to give his hardest. Gonna be physical, gonna be nasty, and he's a football guy. That's what I always say. You know who football guys are, and he's definitely a football guy.
Levante David on Unsportsmanlike. Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. making his way back from a torn ACL won't play in Friday's preseason finale. Tua Tagovailoa will start. Penix Jr. just returned to full practices on Monday.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood, Men's Sexual Wellness. We're here at Marucci Hitter's House and glad to have you rolling along with us. 5 o'clock quitting time. Alondra's with us. Moose and Paulie are back in studio, and we're glad to have you aboard. Russ Mitchell in 15 minutes. Cannot wait. We will actually get to stop for a brief moment talking about legalities and lawsuits and talk about football. Russ comes out of hibernation, and we'll get his thoughts not only on LSU but the SEC. We're looking forward to doing that again every Wednesday throughout the football season. I'm going to kick off hour 3 here by welcoming aboard a guy who's been a good friend of the show for a lot of years, Jay Cicero, who's the president and CEO of the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. Jay, it's great to have you back. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm doing great.
It's always our pleasure. So, the thing everybody wants to know, when we get to Super Bowl again, man, what we got? Lay it on me. Lay it on me. When we getting it?
Well, Mrs. Benson and the governor made a very important trip to visit with the commissioner several months ago, and hopefully they laid the groundwork for us to be invited to bid. So the NFL awarded Nashville 2030 back in May, and hopefully the process for 2031 will start soon. But nothing's guaranteed. We haven't been invited to bid yet, and we are, hoping to be in that number.
So 31. I was halfway joking, but most people are really interested in that conversation. So 2031 would be the next opportunity to bid theoretically. For us and any other city that the NFL wanted to consider. Okay, awesome. Well, we'll look forward to it. I know y'all have at the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, you got the premier season ticket raffle going on right now. First of all, we're talking about what this is because it's one of the more impressive raffle that you will ever see. What are the proceeds going to, Jay?
Well, first of all, it's a really fun raffle, and it is amazing to put together and to execute and to really talk about. But the proceeds for this raffle help support the Sports Foundation and our efforts to bid upon and manage major sporting events in Louisiana. And we are constantly bidding upon and evaluating events and managing events at the same time. So we're a pretty busy little group, but we've been very successful for 38 years now. And hopefully we'll continue to be successful in the future. And this raffle, the proceeds from it help support those efforts.
And just for context, like we talked about the Super Bowl, but maybe for those who aren't familiar, like what other events are you talking about? I mean, I know you and I talk about it all the time when you're on the show, but like hit the high points of the annual events, but also some of the new stuff, like, Savannah Bananas, things like that.
Yeah, Savannah Bananas, we served as the host for that. The Hondo Rodeo, we were also a host organization. The governor played a huge role in the commitments, in getting the commitments from Hondo to come to New Orleans last April. We've also had the X Games, which was in July. Yep. An amazing event in the Superdome. Really fascinating to watch and a very good crowd. We've also done the UFC 318 with Dustin Poirier.
Yep.
His last fight a couple years ago. We've done of the 6 men's Final Fours that have been in New Orleans. The Sports Foundation has served as the staff for the last 4. Women's Final Fours we have produced and served as staff for the last 3 events here. One canceled because of COVID in 2020.
Yep.
Would have been 4. And just numerous other events, the New Orleans Bowl annually for New Orleans here at the Superdome. It'll be our 26th year of hosting that event.
That's awesome.
And so, we're constantly working with owners of events, whether or not that's the SEC, the AAU, the NFL, the NBA, and numerous others, the NCAA, to figure out what events are available for bid, doing all the background work and work behind the scenes to put a bid together, get the commitments necessary to put in the competitive bid, and even help make the pitch or devise the pitch in order to be able to get the event awarded to Louisiana. So once we're able to do all that, we go into execution mode and fundraising mode to fulfill all the obligations of those bids. So we do it soup to nuts, from evaluating bids to placing bids to making presentations for the bids to actually executing and managing all the obligations in those bids, and then hopefully working on the next one.
Yep. Well, let's talk about how people can help pay for all that execution, because the premier season ticket raffle is going on. Okay, like you look at the release and it's like, are you serious? I mean, are there enough hours in someone's life to go to all of these events? Let's talk about what is it, what do they get?
Well, there are 2 tickets to all the regular season home games for LSU football, LSU basketball, men's and women's, LSU gymnastics, LSU baseball, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, Tulane football, basketball, and baseball, LSU New Orleans basketball and baseball, the Sugar Bowl, the New Orleans Bowl, and we just added the WWE Money in the Bank this October as the last event. I forgot the Zurich Classic is in there too.
I was going to say Zurich's on that list. I'm looking at it right here. The Zurich's there as well.
2 tickets to all of those events, one winner, $100 each for a raffle winner. We're only selling 2,000 tickets, and we are closing out this Sunday afternoon in sales of tickets. So we encourage people to go to gnosports.com/win. gnosports.com/win. They can buy as many tickets as they want. We'll pay for all the taxes, whatever tickets they choose to desire to have, and they can. The only cost to the buyer or the raffle winner is the cost of the $100 ticket.
gnosports.com/win, as in Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. gnosports.com/win is where you can go to buy your tickets. Like, you said you're only selling 2,000. Is that right? You said?
That's it. 2,000. We cap it at that when we give everybody a good chance to get it, to win it, and it is one of the more remarkable raffles that I've ever seen. Some other cities do this, but it might be just for their NFL team or just for the NBA team. This includes everything in our area that people desire to see.
gnosports.com/win. It's the premier season ticket raffle, all benefiting the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. He's Jay Cicero. Hey, we always appreciate the time. We're happy to help and support, and we look forward to doing it again soon. And soon enough, man, talking about getting into the Super Bowl here to New Orleans.
Hopefully, say a couple of Hail Marys, and we'll get in there.
Let's do it. Thank you, Jay.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Bye-bye.
All right, that's Jay Cicero. It's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We are brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, parishrestoration.com. You want to get rid of odor from sweat or pets or smoke, Parish Restoration will spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. You have mold, you want to get rid of it, help sanitize your space, your home, your office building, whatever it may be, church, schools, doctors' offices, they do everything. Giant, big commercial buildings. One of the biggest commercial buildings in the state of Louisiana, they dry fogged, as a matter of fact. They could do your house in half a day. It's Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Grant asked a good question. He said, how can Junior Tuihalamaka be eligible with the new SEC rule if he technically declared for the draft before he was out of NCAA eligibility? Well, you don't declare because he wasn't out of eligibility at the time and he didn't declare for the draft, but you were just draft eligible. Hopefully that makes sense. So there is a difference if you are an underclassman with eligibility and you declare for the draft, right, forfeiting the remainder of your eligibility. That's not what happened with these guys. At the time that they declared, they were out of eligibility. Only after the draft in June, when the 5-for-5 ruling came down, did those players gain their extra year of eligibility. The problem is they were already gone. So I think that verbiage is more to protect in the future against players that entered their name into the draft, or also to encompass basketball, where basketball players who might have declared early for the draft and tried to come back, i.e. R.J. Lewis from LSU. So I think the statement was supposed to be all-encompassing, but as I understand it, a conversation earlier today with reps for Junior Tuihalamaka, he would be eligible under the SEC rule. But again, all of those players on Monday have a preliminary injunction hearing in a Baton Rouge courtroom. And it's pretty clear, especially with LSU abstaining from the SEC vote today, waiting to hear what happens with the court ruling, LSU is going to follow the court ruling. So it may feel like it's done. You may be, as some of you asked, is the juice worth the squeeze? You keep down this path at what cost? I understand all those questions. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you, this is clearly the path LSU's taking. Okay, it's After Further Review. It's time. When we come back, Russ Mitchell comes out of hibernation. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Get Gordon. Get it done. Go to getgordon.com, 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 and get your creative juices flowing. Because the Get Gordon Billboard Design Contest is back. You can hardly drive 5 feet in this town without seeing Gordon's face on a billboard. You want it to be your design? Easy. Go to getgordon.com/billboards. Getgordon.com/billboards. Get all the deets, how you can enter, win up to $2,000 in prizes. There is an adult and a children's division, by the way. So win up to $2,000 in prizes and have your billboard seen all over town. It's the Get Gordon Billboard Design Contest. Entries due by September the 20th. Get all the deets at getgordon.com/billboards. Get Gordon and get it done.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabre Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabreChevrolet.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office protects and serves over 132,000 residents across the parish.
Keeping our community safe is our mission, and Rev Fiber plays a critical role in how we respond. Whether it's training in our special divisions, forensics investigations, or fielding emergency calls in our operations center, Rev Business connects our teams in real time, which is why we partner with Rev Business.
Get 6 months free of Rev Business services. Call or click today.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
It's football!
Rusty, come on up here.
Ferris is not a state. It's a wheel.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Just like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
Let's go. I am so sick of talking about court cases, injunctive hearings, TROs, precedents. I'm ready to talk about Christopher Vezina getting sacked 16 times in Tiger Stadium a week from Saturday. Russ Mitchell, what up?
Kicking tires, lighting fires, baby.
And with that, it is football season, ladies and gentlemen. What did you do during your hibernation?
Slept.
Okay, for real though, what did you do?
I made sure my wife still loved me. That's what I do whenever she wants. I'm like, what do you want to do? She's like, I want to travel. I was like, great.
Okay.
I don't ask where. I just give her my Amex and I say book it.
And you get on the plane.
Get on a plane, man.
You did catch a Los Serpientos game this summer as well against the Colorado Rockies.
I did with the fine family of one Matt Moscona.
We had an awesome time, man. We're out in Arizona. Got to visit with Russ, drank some beers. He bought everybody Arizona Diamondbacks hats. I got the Los Serpientos version of the Diamondbacks hat. It's fire. Man, we had a good time. But hey, look.
It was a good time.
Football is here. All right, so we got two segments. Next segment, we'll do LSU. Let's talk SEC.
Okay.
Give me a team. Like, everybody is picking Texas, Georgia at the top. It's almost unanimous. Give me a team that you think is not being talked about enough, a proverbial sleeper in the league right now.
Well, I think we finally reached the point where Alabama can be called a sleeper. Saban must be thrilled, man. I mean, they were picked. The SEC media picked Alabama to come in, sixth in the conference?
I need to go back and check it out. I was there, but I wasn't paying attention.
They're ranked 13th in the AP poll. They basically have one of the best secondaries in the country. And, we talk about this every year at this time of the season. Their schedule is considerably friendlier than several of the teams that are ranked ahead of them. And Georgia and A&M both come to Tuscaloosa. The most difficult road game they have is probably Baton Rouge. So it all comes down to Russell, right? Can this sophomore who won the starting quarterback job, his ceiling is enormous, but he has almost no meaningful college experience. So, he's had a couple of nice practices, but let's see how he handles Death Valley.
Okay, flip it. Who's overrated? Who is getting too much hype?
And by the way, I've felt this way for a while, and I think we're starting to hear more and more people jump on this overhyped bandwagon, and it's Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you can look at Ole Miss. They're ranked right now, aren't they? What are they ranked? Top 10, right? Number 9 nationally.
Okay. I think, aren't they 13? Oh no, they were 13 in the SP Plus. I think in the polls they're 9th. That shows you how much attention I pay to the AP poll.
Trinidad Chambliss and Kawan Lacey are, unquestionably fantastic. So, but, it's a much bigger team than two, grown-up kids playing, in the SEC. They're replacing 14 starters, 14, including both tackles on offense. They lost basically all the production from their wide receiver units, and 7 defensive starters, and it's Golding's first full season as a head coach. And have you looked at their schedule?
Yes.
LSU at Florida, at Texas, at Oklahoma, and Georgia. Ole Miss will be a very good 8-4 team.
And their schedule actually does play to that. I mean, they might be really good, really talented, but the schedule is just not conducive for them to make another playoff run. I just don't see a reality where they get to 10 wins.
I don't think they're the 9th best team in America, period.
Yeah.
And with all that talent that they've lost, it kind of reminds me, what was the year that LSU played 4 teams in the top 10? And it was with Russell at quarterback.
Oh,
remember they went 2-2.
It was 2006. They lost at Auburn and at Florida.
That's right. So, and they became the first team in the SEC that had to play, I think the first team in the history of college football that had to play 4 top 10 teams. And they split them. And they played, I think, was it Illinois in the Sugar Bowl that year?
It was Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
That's right.
Brady Quinn.
And I remember trying to make the argument at the time that LSU could potentially be one of the best teams in the country, given their schedule. And if you look at Ole Miss's schedule this year, I don't know if it's that hard, but it's a really daunting schedule.
Yeah, that 06 team, remember, and that was the year Florida, Ohio State and Michigan were both undefeated, played a 1-2 matchup in the game, and the big game, whatever they call it. And Ohio State won. It was Troy Smith won the Heisman. Florida went on Florida went on to go play for the national championship and blew the door. Percy Harvin, I think, returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, blew the doors off Ohio State. If we had an actual playoff, then that LSU team, that was probably the most talented LSU team, probably would have won the national championship that year.
I agree.
I digress. Russ Mitchell's with us at Russ Mitchell CFB. Okay, a couple other things. Who do you think is maybe the most interesting team in the league? Like one that it was hard for you to peg what you think about them this year.
Well, I mean, I think the most interesting team is LSU. We'll save that for the next segment. Okay. I think the team that is among the hardest teams to try to figure out is probably Oklahoma. I think that I think this might be the best defense in the SEC this year. Defensive line is spectacular. Linebacking unit is stout. The secondary is top 15. I mean, this is if you don't know this already, Oklahoma's defense this year is going to be sick. And so it comes to Mateer, and he might look like Iron Man. He looks like LaRon Landry. I mean, the kid is just ridiculous. But, is he going to be the quarterback that he was before he hurt his hand or after? I think he's going to be the quarterback that he was before. And if that's the case, I think that, they're not going to sneak up on anyone with that defense. But I think the ceiling is a lot higher than a lot of people. They were ranked 7th by the SEC media. What were they smoking at the SEC media days, Matt? Because I don't see how Oklahoma was ranked 7th at the SEC media days.
I picked him 3rd. That was my single biggest takeaway from media days is we were not talking enough about Oklahoma. Their defense is going to be outstanding with what they added. If Mateer is what they think he can be, I think that's a playoff team, and not just a playoff team, but like a legit national championship contender. More so than people looking at Ole Miss and A&M. I think you and I probably agree there. Hey, who do you have in the SEC championship game?
I've got Georgia and Texas, like everybody else.
Everybody else, yeah.
You got to have Georgia. I know it's boring, but preseason number 3, they've won the last 2. They're again the favorite.
Just look at the schedule.
Oh my goodness! Yes, again,
if they're not there, shame on Kirby.
Exactly. I mean, they're not the sexiest offense in the league, but Kirby has the best combination of roster, defense, institutional stability, and schedule. So, in this SEC, particularly this year, if you're ranked number 1 and you avoid Texas, LSU, and A&M, that's really good. You've done very well.
Yeah. Is Arkansas going to win a league game?
No, is Marcel? You're so mean. Is Marcel? Is Marcel Reed going to throw a touchdown against a team that beat? Do you realize that Reed against opponents? I read this in Texas football. Against opponents ranked in the top 25 at the end of last season. So A&M had 3, right? The Notre Dame win they had at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Then they lost to Texas and Miami. In those 3 games, you know how many touchdowns Marcel Reed had?
Yeah.
2.
Oh, he had 2? I don't know.
2 against Texas. He had 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
They
Miami and Texas.
They kicked a field goal against Miami. It was an abomination.
and Texas, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
So passing touchdowns. So if he, I mean, Marcel Reed can beat bad teams. Absolutely. Can he beat teams that you have to beat in order to win the SEC and win the national championship? No.
Yeah. It's like he stinks against good teams and looks like Superman against LSU for 2 years. It's unbelievable. They got to figure out how to tackle that guy. All right, it's after further review. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
This is a question I was just asked on a show before you. Florida, over under 7.5.
I probably need to take a closer look at the schedule. I think John Summerall did a really good job with his coordinator hires. Let me look at the schedules, but I'm inclined to say over. I think they might be able to get to 8, but I don't remember exactly where I picked them. Let me look at it at the break. I'll give you an answer, okay?
All
right, hang on. All right, Russ Mitchell's with us. We're here at Marucci's Hitter's House. Hang out. We're going to knock out a break, come back, and we'll spend the next segment with us just talking about LSU. It's AFR.
After further review.
REV, Rev Fiber, RevFiber.com, 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 the official internet service provider of the LSU Tigers. Love telling you about Rev because whether it's for your home or your business, Rev is awesome. At the Moscona household, we are Rev customers. They laid fiber in our neighborhood months ago, and as soon as they did, boom, we switched. We became Rev customers because the security of an all-fiber network is awesome because you don't have to worry about, like yesterday, storms come. You live in a neighborhood where you got lots of trees. The limbs fall on power lines, knock power out, not the cable out. Well, you have to worry about that if you have fiber because it's buried under the ground. The cables are buried. So you have to worry about getting knocked offline. Rev Fiber, can you imagine? Tigers are playing, you're streaming the game, then all of a sudden your internet goes out? Don't have to worry about it with Rev. RevFiber.com, R-E-V, RevFiber.com. Official internet service provider of LSU. It's RevFiber.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the new Ram 1500 truck on our lot now with $22,000 off MSRP.
Plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles.
If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Rolling along here, Hump Day edition of AFR. Russ Mitchell is with us. We are live at Marucci Hitter's house and glad to have you hanging out with us here. Okay, we spent the first segment a little 10,000-foot flyover of the SEC. Let's dig deeper down on the Tigers. All right, it's Lane Kiffin taking over an offense that was atrocious a year ago. Why should we be confident that just because Lane's here, they're going to be better?
It can't get much worse. But,
that is true.
My first question is, I'm going to use the right pronouns. Does LSU have an offensive line this year?
Do they? He was trying so hard not to say we on the first time out the chute. I'm proud of you for not saying we. You succeeded. Yus was ready with the ding.
Yes.
Well, let me answer your question with the answer you gave to mine. It can't be any worse.
Yeah, I mean. So let's start with the good, right? So Levitt is spectacular. The kid's already taken a team to a playoff. You can't really take last year. ASU was a mess, and he had the Lisfranc injury. But if you go back the year before, 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. If you can take a team like Arizona State to the college football playoff, you can definitely take this year's LSU team to the college football playoff. Then if you throw in Kiffin's offense, which is spectacular, right? Everywhere the Cat's ever been, he's had an offense. I don't think there's anybody that knows college football that doesn't expect LSU to have a good offense as long as you can run the ball, right? Which, again, I'll save that for the things that I'm concerned about. But so the strength that LSU has with Sam Levitt under center, if he's healthy, and he seems to be, that's great. Then what Kiffin has managed to do with the receiving talent since he got there is really exceptional. I saw that PFF has your receiving core ranked number 6 nationally. Number 6. And Trey'Dez Green's the best. I mean, if I had a dog once who peed on itself when it got too excited, if I was Levitt, I might be so excited to play with this Clyde receiving core that I'd pee on myself. That's how good the LSU receivers are going to be, right? And then the entire defense, almost the entire defense, really. But the secondary, you look at the secondary unit, Corey Raymond, baby. I mean, Pickett, Woodland, Cooley, it's going to be a really strong secondary. So all of those things make me feel very optimistic about LSU heading into this season.
Okay. So you said the running game was something that was a concern. I would say everywhere Lane Kiffin goes, they run the football.
They have a running game.
Yeah, be it by scheme or otherwise. The thing I point out all the time, Russ, like, Kewan Lacey was a first-team All-American. He was outstanding last year. He had 13 attempts as a true freshman at Missouri, goes to Ole Miss in this offense, and he's an All-American in his first year. So it always seems to work.
Which comes first, right? Does the running game come because the scheme is so good and the passing offense is so dynamic, so that opens up the running game? I sure hope so, because if you look at this offensive line, it's not just last year, which was so abysmal protecting the quarterback, but so abysmal at rushing offense. It was the year before the rushing offense was miserable too. So, I'm concerned about the middle of LSU. It's like a middle-aged man. You're concerned about, what do you call that fat in the middle? What's that called?
Their gut.
Yeah, there's a special kind of fat. I forget what that's called. Anyway, I'm concerned about the middle. I'm concerned about the ability to run up the middle. I'm concerned no, there's a term for it. Anyway, and I'm concerned about your ability to stop the run up the middle, right? Not concerned about the ability to put pressure on the quarterback for edge rushers.
Visceral fat?
In fact, if you look, visceral fat. You don't tell me you pulled that out of your head. That was like ChatGPT or Google right there.
Okay, so if I'm being completely 100% honest with you, I was going to say visceral fat. But I was like, what if that's not it and I'm wrong and I sound stupid? So then I did look it up, and I'm like, it's visceral fat. Okay. That's abdominal obesity.
Yeah. Adding one great tackle to an offensive line doesn't automatically make 5 guys a great offensive line. And I like this unit. What is it going to be? It's going to be Seaton, Braelin, Moore, Baugh, and Davis?
Yes.
I mean, that's a good unit. I mean, as long as nobody gets hurt. But, I mean, they still have to gel. They've got to play. And the interior is still a question. And as you point out, you've got to be able to run block because Kiffin's offense needs to run the ball. So, you know, again, this is the 3rd or 4th consecutive year in a row. I'm sitting at my desk in August, and the thing I'm thinking about when I think about LSU is offensive line.
Okay. Yeah, look, they've been bad. So, yes, I'll be curious to see how they fare. Is there anything – because we're going to go through the schedule and get a pick from you on LSU here in a second. Right. But is there anything else – and Russ Mitchell's with us – is there anything else with this LSU team? We've talked about the coaching. We've talked about what you like, what you don't like on both sides. Anything else that is sort of just lingering in the recesses of your brain about this team?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically an expansion team.
Okay.
So, you know, and I everyone loves to say it's the number 1 portal class, and I mean that's true. And the other side to that is these guys really haven't played football together, and that then segues directly into the schedule. I mean, the first 4 games include Clemson, at Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Oh, that's fine. I'll get these 2. So I would much rather have had McNeese, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and at Auburn as my first 4 games of the year to let this expansion team get used to playing together. But unfortunately, LSU doesn't get that.
Do you? So I would typically agree with you. Do you remember how many starters Ole Miss returned last year? The team that went 11-1 went to the playoffs. Do you know how many returning starters they had? And I only know this because I hyped it so much last year. It's
a great point. I mean, you can argue this is the new football where and this is where Kiffin is particularly adept at, is going out and grabbing a bunch of kids and putting them into a scheme.
So I'm going to answer the question because I don't know if you remember. It was 2. And it was one of my big takeaways from media days last year was Ole Miss returned 2 starters. 2. I said I was like 2. I kept going 2. And I thought exactly what you thought. And then they went 11-1, and I thought, I need to reframe the way I look at roster building, in particular in this era, and especially in particular with Lane Kiffin, because he's proven he knows what he's looking for, where other people might overlook certain players. He just knows what skill set, personality, whatever it is that he's looking for to plug into his roster. So I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt.
I agree with you, but here was the schedule for Ole Miss last year to start the season. Georgia State, at Kentucky, Arkansas, and Tulane.
I understand. And then I would also say like that for the first 2 weeks, it was Austin Simmons, and they didn't look great. And then Chambliss came in and completely changed their season. So that's a variable that no one anticipated at the time either. But with all that new, to go 11-1 is still pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this is a combination of 2 things, right? Well, it's all Kiffin, really, at the end of the day. It's his offense. And I don't mean to take anything away from Weiss and all the other offensive coaches, but I mean, there's one constant in all of the success that this cat has, and it's him. So, you know, I mean, it's his offense, it's his leadership, the buck stops at the top, so he gets the credit. And he understands how to put together a unit. This is why a lot of people look at what he did with the offensive line and what he did with, you know, this and that. But to me, Kiffin's genius is what he's done with this wide receiving unit. How he's basically gutted the wide receiving unit and built it back together. And, you know, that is Kiffin to me in a nutshell. And I think if there's one thing I'm confident about when the year's over and you look, I think their LSU's passing offense is going to be among the top 5 in the country.
Yeah, it's interesting because they don't have a game breaker at receiver, but they have a lot of guys that seem to fit what they do, what they try to do well. So, okay, short on time. We're with Russ Mitchell. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. I was over there earlier today. Had to get my new license plate for my new Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Mom was there yesterday. She traded in her old lease, got a new lease on an Atlas. We're Volkswagen people. Russ is a Volkswagen person as well, by the way. He doesn't mind saying
I am a Volkswagen person.
southpointvw.com, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, moment of truth. LSU, what's their record?
9-3.
Dang it.
9-3 feels right to me. You know, I mean, if it wasn't Clemson at Ole Miss, Texas A&M to start the season, I mean, if they could have the schedule that Ole Miss had last year to start the season, and you could let these 43 new guys gel together, then I would say 10-2.
It's more than 43.
You know,
it's just those are the transfers. You forgot about the freshmen. It's really like 60-something new players.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about 9-3. You know, like, what do you think LSU fans need to see this year to be happy?
Make the playoff.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit unrealistic. It's not to say I don't think they can make the playoff. I do think they can make the playoff. But, I mean, if that's where you're calling the line on whether you're happy or not,
yeah.
I mean, if LSU makes it to 9-3 and doesn't make the playoff, I'd be very happy as an LSU fan.
You spend $50+ million on the roster, all these coaches, all the all the investment breeds the expectation. If this team, Russ, I don't care what the schedule looks like. If they're not in the playoff, that it is a failure of a season. Period. I'm not saying you have to go win the national championship, but you can't invest. You can't invest what they've invested in the staff, the support staff, the roster, all of it, and be playing in the Outback Bowl. It's just not. It's just not okay.
You know the movies where the guy is in the room that has the whatever the poison gas is, and he has to race to the window to like stick his head out and gasp for air. Clean air.
Okay.
It's like if you live in Baton Rouge, you need to get yourself some clean air every once in a while because those expectations are ridiculous.
Then don't.
I mean,
don't spend $50 million.
You gotta give the guy a chance to build what. I mean, he's only been there for how long? 5 months.
That's why I gave him a $50 million roster.
Yeah, I think that y'all are asking for the world and expect it in 2 seconds.
Because
I think
hey, Kurt Cignetti took over the worst program in the history of the sport and got in the playoffs in 1 year and won the national championship in 2 years. There are no excuses. None. There's no excuses. We got to go.
Well, I mean, when you set that as the bar. All right, goodbye. We'll
talk next week. See ya. Russ Mitchell. See ya. It's After Further Review. We're at Marucci Hitter's House. Hump Day Shows brought to you by Goodwood. We'll knock out a final breakout or locks next. AFR. GLO. Glow Resources. GlowResources.com. GlowResources.com. At Glow Resources, we always remind you they are complete employer solutions. If you need to hire, let Glow Resources help. I was at a meeting earlier today at the ABC Pelican chapter, and at one point raised their hand. How many people are looking for employees? Like every hand in the room went in the air. I was like, all these people need to call Glow Resources. That's what you got to do, because that's what they do. If you're a business owner and you need to hire people and you're having trouble finding the right people, qualified people, let Glow Resources help. Skilled blue-collar labor, they can help at Glow Resources. Any type of office job, they can help at Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. And while home base is here in Baton Rouge, they service businesses all over the country. They help businesses all over the country find people for jobs all over the world. It's Glow Resources. Check them out, GLO, glowresources.com.
Every ounce of Raising Cane's lemonade has been hand-squeezed that day from fresh lemons before being served over our signature crushed ice. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Community sailing is all about getting people in the New Orleans area out on boats, out on Lake Pontchartrain. Gulf Coast Bank helps us provide opportunities to get folks out who might not otherwise have the financial means to come sailing. Auctions in August is an online fundraiser that helps nonprofits like us service the community. Bidding through Auctions in August is a lot of fun because there's so many different items. There's something for everyone, so you're sure to find something that relates directly to you that you'll enjoy bidding on, and you get to help out the community.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
When a capital project moves from planning to execution, downtime isn't an option. Who do you trust to deliver? River Parish Contractors has more than 500 employees dedicated.
Insurance Network of Louisiana, better coverage for less money. We're talking about your home, your auto, and your business. LAinsurance.net, LAinsurance.net. That's the website if you want to start there. I mean, it's $5.49. They've knocked off for the day. So why don't you start at the website, LAinsurance.net. We talk all the time about better coverage for less money, but remember the service as well. They're going to evaluate your book of business throughout the year, and they're going to make sure that you have the best deal. And sometimes, honestly, it's not always what's cheaper. Sometimes it's getting the best deductible or the proper coverage or the company that's actually going to pay. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Get better coverage. You know, back in 2021, 13 carriers went out of business. None of the companies that Insurance Network of Louisiana deals with, they partner with, were among that number. Top-rated companies, better coverage for less money. 293-0450.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Jimmy's going to be along here in just a quick second. We're connecting with him there. We're at Marucci Hitter's house. One more opportunity to remind you, the footwear sales going on right now. Footwear just $50. If you need cleats, turfs, or training footwear here at Marucci Hitter's house for just $50. What did you say? Footwear for $50. That's what I said. You're not going to beat that with a stick or a bat. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What up, Matthew?
Hanging out at Marucci here today. Awesome spot.
Yes, indeed.
Counting down to the next court date I get to talk about.
Court radio.
It's so brutal. I'm ready to play games.
Yes. I agree.
All right, what we got tonight?
All right, good night last night, 3-1. We're going to go back to the well with Boston against Miami. And, you know, the Marlins are kind of still in contention for the National League wild card, but their record against teams with losing records and winning records is very drastic. So they just find ways to lose to Boston. An extra inning grand slam for the Red Sox. 2 close wins. Looking for another close win tonight for the Red Sox, who just another streak. Now 5 in a row again for the Red Sox. Going with your Yankees tonight. They lost last night in a wild game. Really good one. Yordan Alvarez, just killing it for the Astros. Big triple to put them over the top last night. Look for the Yankees to bounce back. Playing good ball, even without Stanton, Judge, and Bellinger. So taking the Yankees with a small price at home. And then the longest streak in baseball is the team that's in last place in the American League Central, the Kansas City Royals. Jack Caglianone is kind of broken through. Bobby Whit Jr. is back, and Pasquantino is off the IL as well. They've won 9 in a row. They're a plus price again against Toronto. We'll be on them. So a little 3-pack for you today on this Wednesday.
Hey, by the way, Boston gave up a run to Miami in the bottom of the first. That's actually plus money right now as they go top 2. It's plus $1.07.
Even better.
Yeah. So
yes.
if you want to get on the Red Sox, a better number now. And then the Yankees minus $1.15, and the Royals plus money, plus $1.38. Actually, right now it's plus $1.42 at DraftKings if you want to get on it right there. Your 3-pack of MLB plays. Hey, man, I heard you and Charlie talk a little bit today about Skip's celebration of life.
Yes.
It really was
very
awesome.
well done.
Yeah.
It's well done. A lot of laughs, a lot of tears, man, as it should be. And so I love all the different guests, including his daughter, with the mannerisms. I mean,
Lori was
even
great.
Ezra, his grandson. I mean, Lori was awesome.
Yeah.
She was so good, and that's into such a tough spot.
Yeah,
such a tough spot. So no, it was. I was glad I made it. Should have been there. Saw so many of those guys that are just now older, like us that we covered, back in the day. Man, it's crazy. Skip has been removed as coach for 25 years.
Yep.
Now, so.
Yep. It was a great night, a great way to celebrate maybe the most iconic figure in LSU history. All right, Otter.
I like Charlie's angle in Louisiana sports history.
Yeah.
Because the Saints were really down and they were starving for a winner. I was in New Orleans at the time in the late 80s when they were having those classics, those regional games against USC. And I think, I know it was an LSU event last night, but he's meant a lot to the entire state when I guess, a hungry time for a sports winner.
No doubt. Where are you tomorrow?
We're at Circa in Las Vegas at Radio
that's
Row
right.
for their contest sign-up. So myself, Max, Paul Stone, Cicero. Andy Isco is up. I don't think he's coming on with us tomorrow, but he is our proxy, so I'll be meeting with him on Friday to sign up for that Survivor contest.
Awesome. All right, Otter, we'll look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
All right, we're getting on down the road. Remember, I'll remind you about Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they keep you coming back because they treat you like family. It's part of the Charlie's Dozen, the price match guarantee. Buy tires at Shawbill's, find them advertised cheaper somewhere else. They will refund you 125% of the difference. They just will not be beat on price when it comes to tires. The best tires. It's all about lifetime value and creating that relationship. It's Shawbill's, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, it's going to do it for us here as we get on down the road. You miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Golf. We're back in studio tomorrow. Muse Pauly back in studio. Thanks, Alondra. Great job on site. As always, we appreciate you greatly. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand, check it out. We will see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, take this opportunity to remind you about First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Hunting season is here, y'all. I know for a lot of you, if you're a deer hunter, like I know many of you are, I hear it all the time. I hear from Terrell, too, about going to hunt on someone else's property, and you don't want to shoot the trophy buck because you feel like it's bad. It's bad juju because you're going to leave that trophy buck for the owner of the property. Well, if you never want to worry about that again, then you need to be the owner of the property. You want to own your own hunting property, your own recreational property. Our friends at First South Farm Credit can make that happen. So log on to FirstSouthFarmCredit.com, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com. Maybe it's that hunting property, the recreational property. Maybe you want 20 acres to build your family's dream home, have that rural lifestyle. First South Farm Credit can make that dream a reality. They're the best. They're local. They've been doing it for more than 100 years. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthFarmCredit.com.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabre Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabreChevrolet.com.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.